certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to the nighttime show, the Steel Toe Evening Show. Love you. Thank you for being here. Now, we do need to talk. That pesky morning show kicked the shit out of you the last couple days. They were making fun of you. They were saying your mom was a whore. And if that's true, then they were saying your sister's a whore. If that's true, they were saying they fucked your dog, which I guess is like, that's more on them than on you, than an insult to you. They were talking mad shit is my point. They've knocked out 2 goals this week, and they're like, it fucking evening show, bringing up the rear, hasn't knocked out shit. Now, a lot of you might say, Aaron, this sounds like a highly manipulative tactic you're using to try and get us to donate money at the top of the show, so you don't have to worry if you're going to hit the goal tonight. And I just want to say, that hurts. It's offensive, and I'm a sensitive guy. And if you don't think that shit hurts my feelings, then you're wrong. I'm just relaying to you what the morning show audience said. They called you a lot of gay slurs. It was, believe me, guys, it was uncomfortable for me to hear it. Because I like you guys. I don't like hearing the morning show audience. Oh, and they were saying the OGs are gay as fuck, but the old radio audience lied, and they're not going to support the show financially like they said they would. And I was like, guys, that's enough. You know, all the old Bubba listeners that came over, all the communities we grabbed people from were talking shit about the OGs. They were saying the sector people were saying the OGs are the biggest fucking pussies they've ever seen in their lives. The Dabbleverse people were, well, they were speaking in monosyllabic grunts, but they were trying to talk shit, it felt like. And like I said, the Bubba people were like, go fuck yourself. The Steel Toe OGs are soft-ass pussies. Eaton Clem says, I don't recall any of that being said, but I'll play along. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Rusty Grammer says, I'll fucking kill those.
I'll fucking kill you, you fucking faggot.
Well, they said, their big thing was they said, you guys don't do shit for money. Like, you guys don't PayPal, Venmo, Streamlabs. They were saying that you got, evening show OGs don't hit goals and that you're all a bunch of homosexuals. And I tried to defend you guys. And I said, you know what? They'll show you tonight. Because the morning show audience was swinging their dick around. They're like, we did $190 in like 5 minutes. And we fucking knocked out a complete goal because the evening show audience didn't give us any fucking help when we gave them $10, $15 the morning of. And so they were just like, yeah, they were talking mad shit about you guys. They only went $5 over for you this morning because they think you're gay and they think you can't hit goals. And I tried to tell them, I'm like, they only missed by $70. Like, it's not bad. It's an easily write-offable amount of cash. And they're like, no, evening show people are gay. They're fucking pussies. They don't support the toe. And Aaron, we're mad on your behalf. And I said, guys, that's enough. That's just too far. I love the evening show audience. And I said, they'll show you tonight that they're up for the challenge. They need a rest. It was the holidays. It was New Year's. It was Monday. Raw was debuting on Netflix. I went to watch it after the show was over. So the morning show, talking mad shit about the evening show. I just thought you had the right to know. And if you want to respond, I think the best platforms to respond to this kind of slander and criticism, in my experience, is PayPal, Venmo, Streamlabs. Again, just me. And so let's show those morning fucks, huh? Shit-talking assholes. Thank you to NoPen15 Fathead. Yeah, Ryan the Garbage Man reported this to me today. NoPen15 says, Chad's hype train spanked the shit out of yours. I said that openly. I said, we're not going to surpass Chad on the hype trains for a while here because we got to get back. We got to get back to, we got to knock the rust off our train. Our train is all rusty. It's been sitting there for a couple of years. Losing Twitch really took the fire out of our hype train. It made us feel bad. And our hype train has to run a few times before it's good again. Now, MSO says Chad refuses to release the hype train. Look, I'm not saying that Chad has to release the hype train. I never said that. And by the way, I want to send kudos to Chad Zumach because Ryan the Garbage Man reported to me today that Zumach is not a fan of your hype train. He's trashing it live right now. And I said, aw, shucks. Is he being funny about it? And Ryan the Garbage Man said, obnoxiously so. So it sounds like my hype train, my reclaiming my hype train that he borrowed and he raised the stock of, and I appreciate him watching it for me while I was gone. Chad was my babysitter of the hype train, and I really appreciate it. And I don't mean to pull rank, but I think we're going to start using it again. Now, he doesn't like it. I can understand. It's like when Bruce Wayne came back to take the cowl back from Jean-Paul Valley. I'm gay. So, you know what? We're going to work this out. I feel like it's all going to be okay. I feel like it's just a massive misunderstanding. Although Ryan the Garbage Man did say Zumach is not a fan of your hype train, he's claiming the legal precedent of finders keepers. Now, wait a goddamn minute. Finders keepers? Does he really want to go that route? I mean, are we really going to get ugly? Is it going to get ugly between Chad and I? Finders keepers? I thought we would start out with a little light, feeling out process and, this light tete-a-tetes and skirmishes and whatnot. I didn't know we were going to paperwork right off the bat. I didn't know that Zumach wanted to go to the mattresses on hype trains right from the jump. Finders keepers. I got half a mind to file a writ of whoever smelt it dealt it. Just pray that I don't decide to go that route. And if I decide to file a claim of Indian giving, wait, no, I would be the Indian giver. Fuck, I don't want to give him ideas, but my team is hard at work at this. And if he's going to invoke finders keepers, I'm going to be honest, that's a strong legal precedent to go after. I want to say that clearly I have to study intellectual property law, IP law, as we say in the biz. I think I have a claim here. It is my intellectual property. I think it's mine for 7 years. 7 years. And I have a right to reclaim it whenever I want to. I don't want to file a cease and desist, guys. Don't make me be the bad guy. Don't make me be a fuck. I don't want to file a cease and desist against Chad for the hype train. In an ideal world, we would both keep it. He could take my creation and he continue to do fine work with it. He could, you know what he could do? He could be my Gallagher too. That Chad could be the Gallagher 2 to my Gallagher. And our Sledge-O-Matic is the hype train. There's no reason. Invoking finders keepers is going to do nothing but escalate this problem that we have. All right, guys, we have a show to do. It's going to be a very good one. I hope your day was well. I hope it was fun. Mine was. Got to the gym. Dude, I was on the phone with SP, and she was working, and I'm just like, I told her, I said on the phone, I have no reason right now to go upstairs, I have no reason to not go upstairs, put a pair of shorts and a basketball jersey on and go to the gym right now. and get 10 rounds of bag work in, some sauna, some planks, some really girly workout shit. Maybe a little stepper for my ass, you know. Got to work hard to keep this thing up. You don't. You just have to eat some Quick Trip food from time to time. And she said, no, you have no reason not to. So I put on those clothes. I started my car because we're here in Minnesota. And I headed off to the gym, and I had a good one. I would say I had a great one, but I'm going to be humble. So 2 days in a row I got there, which is solid. Stop staring at my tits. I know they're luscious. I know you like them, but they're mine and not yours. I'm not fucking Joy Taylor over here, okay? I make my own way. So I got to the gym. The hype train stuff seemed like it was received in good humor, which is how I intended it. So far, we knocked out a full goal this morning. How can I not be happy? It's a good day so far. So here's what I say. I say this audience rallies up. They click the links. Oh, shit. How are they going to click the links when I fucked them up? Aaron, you stupid dick. There we go. Now the links are better. Let's delete this one. Put this one up there. Oh, I sent messages too fast. You can send messages too fast from yourself on Rumble? Holy shit. All right, well, anyway, I want you guys to rally up. I want us to knock this out tonight. I want to get rid of any ugliness from last evening, and I really want to stop those morning guys from saying that really mean shit about you, which they totally said. Let's take a look at the Chad Buzamok donor rankings. Chad Buzamok DM'd me but just as I was starting the show. Chad Buzamok's starting to get very demanding. He's like, what, no show tonight? I'm like, shit. I'm like, no. And the reason he said that is because I don't like the way Restream it does Rumble now. It just creates the stream for you. You can't import the stream you've created. So usually I create a stream a half hour before the show starts, and you guys can kind of filter in, run around in the chat, have some fun. It doesn't do that anymore on Rumble. I don't know why. It creates the stream for you. You give it the title, you give it the description, and it just creates it for you when you hit start. I fucking hate it. I think it's the worst. But the Chad Buzamok donor rankings look like this. Wally World is still in first with $135, but that 135 ain't going to hold. We got Flinty Gecko with 100. We've got Coyote NV with 73. And we've got Rust Belt and Coltrane tied for fourth at $45. So $100 drop right now would get you in the top two. And it would also take care of pretty much everything for tonight. So I don't know. I think there's a brave soul out there who wants to prove those morning assholes wrong. That's what I say. Aaron, are you grifting? Yes, I'm grifting. Let's go to Citizen M. He says, suing Chad for the hype train is so silly, I'd think you were kidding. But then again, you implied you were going. No, I never implied I was going to sue Melton. You got it backwards. Melton claims he's going to sue everybody. People start getting the better of him. He starts freaking out. He starts calling everything actionable. He's the best. No, I had, there was someone who wanted to talk to me. I wouldn't call it a deposition. There was someone who wanted to talk to me about something that could be going on. I don't know anything about it. Like I said, I got a phone call. I had to talk to the people. That's all I know. Everyone thought that I had this 4D chess plan or that I was teasing something. That's it. That's all I know. Let's go to Poe. He says, what? No way. Fuck's sake. I don't know what you're talking about. Hulkamash Baby says, you don't fuck to move up. You fuck to break up. That's what I do. Thank you, Hulkamash. Yes. I've never fucked anybody so that I could move up in the business. I've only fucked people so I could make my life more difficult. That's the way I do it. All right, speaking of people who fuck to get up, Joy Taylor. Boy, I tell you guys, the hot takes start coming and they don't stop coming. And the Joy Taylor hot takes are in, and we're starting to see some tribal breakdowns here. We're starting to see the black women are starting to come out for the black women, and the women in general are starting to come out to defend the women, because when this Fox Sports 1 lawsuit came out originally, it was Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless offered the Muslim girl $1.5 million to fuck her, and now she's suing for sexual harassment. But as people dug around in these lawsuits, as they do, a few hours after it came out, the real story became, holy shit, this Joy Taylor was fucking everybody so that she could get on these Fox Sports 1 shows. And then the story became, oh my God, she threatened to frame the executive director of content for graping if he ever tried to fire her after having a consensual sexual relationship with him. And she told this all to the hairdresser. And then Jason Whitlock gets involved, and we get now Jason Whitlock's become a meme with the peanut butter skin and big cans line. He's like, I didn't want to work with Joy Taylor the way she had those big cans out all the time and that peanut butter skin. I know myself. Like, I thought, okay, I've really been sleeping on Jason Whitlock because now we've been playing his clips and stuff on the show, and I really enjoy them. Whitlock's huge, apparently. Not like in size, but he's got like 1 million followers on Twitter, and his show on The Blaze is apparently pretty well viewed. He's one of the biggest guys there. And I always thought he was like some kind of prim and proper Christian dude. But apparently he's a guy who's remarkably self-aware of what a piece of shit he is. And like, I watch Jason Whitlock and I look at him, I go, that's where I'm trying to get. And I feel like I'm getting there. I'm like, I'm trying to get to where this guy is. It's like a Nirvana, Path of Enlightenment Buddhism thing. I watch Jason Whitlock and he's like, I know what I'm capable of, so I don't put myself in them positions. You know, I know I'm a piece of shit, but me knowing I'm a piece of shit makes me a better man and behave myself. And I'm like, yes, I want to be like Whitlock, and I'm getting there. I'm close. Jason Whitlock is my new, like, that's my thing to shoot for. But he's really good. Triple N says, dude, blacks hate Whitlock. Well, I can understand. He controls his impulses. He doesn't fuck everything that moves. Of course they hate him. He also likes holding people accountable for their actions and does the same with himself. So I get it. Rusty Grammar. Well, Jesus, I can't read that. That is an accusation that while you can back it up with YouTube clips, we just went to a pretty nasty spot there. MSO says, it's my train and I will reclaim. Is that what we're doing? Reclaim the train? Got to get off my lazy ass, get that online store up and running and make a Reclaim the Train shirts. Although I think with my reputation, that could end up having a double meaning and really get away from me fast. So people are coming out with their hot takes. Skip Bayless was on the air today. I think he has a podcast. He does a live show on YouTube. And he put his show up today. And he was just talking about, should Lamar Jackson be the MVP and, you know, the NFL playoffs? And Skip's just doing sports talk, Skip. And no mention of people like, oh, he didn't even mention the lawsuit thing. Well, he's being fucking sued. And a woman saying that he offered her $1.5 million to fuck her. It's not like he can just come out and start ranting and raving about it, you know? And if he's getting any kind of severance money or if he's still under contract and getting paid by Fox Sports 1, they probably own his ass on stuff like that, so he can't come out and say anything. But he came out today and he just did his show. Everyone else was supplying the hot takes, though. I don't know who this chick is. Attorney Rachel Lindsay. I don't know who that is, but she was on with Van Lathan, who does a podcast, the Ringer podcast. And she's now saying that this hairdresser, this is like, this woman's doing like a woman versus woman thing. This is like a women hate women deal. She's saying that the hairdresser in the FS1 lawsuit strategically used Joy Taylor because all the guys who are part of the patriarchy, they're going to look at the hoe and they're going to focus on her and they're not going to focus on all the bad, evil men doing bad, evil shit. And they're all going to believe that a woman would do that. Now, this is what I hate about feminism. They sit there and they want to be big, strong, badass women, but then they go, oh, the men are tricking us because we're dumb and we walk right into stuff. It's like, which one is it? This woman didn't use, this is a fucking hairdresser, all right? She's not a Rhodes Scholar. So she didn't tell all these stories about Joy Taylor because she knew that the men would instantly believe that a woman would do that. First of all, we only believe that a woman would do that because a lot of women have done that. sucking and fucking your way to the top. It's been done before. There's a reason prostitution is called the world's oldest profession. Women sucking dick and fucking to get where they want to get is not exactly a new thing. It's a weapon that they have in their arsenal, and they use it to level the playing field. And by the way, nobody's shitting on Joy Taylor. Well, Emmanuel Acco hasn't said what they've done. Nobody's criticizing Joy Taylor for fucking people. In fact, we said from the outset on this show, if it was consensual, that's fine. The thing they're shitting on her for is being a really demonic bitch for saying that she already planned to accuse the executive content director of graping her if he ever tried to let her go. That's some dirty shit. Let's hear what this attorney Rachel Lindsay has to say about this whole deal. She blames this whole Joy Taylor stuff on the men folk.
Particular what like the uphill battle that this does to a woman, specifically a black woman in a male-dominated field. There are very few women working in sports and even fewer black women.
Why, though? Why is that? The same reason that there's not a lot of men in pussy waxing. The same reason there's not a lot of women in fucking, doing Martha Stewart home decor shit. Or there's not a lot of men doing Martha Stewart home decor shit. It's because sports is not generally something that women are interested in at the same level of men. We got to stop pretending that everything needs to be the fucking census and that we need an equal percentage of participation by everyone. Men are going to be more adept at talking sports because we've been doing it our whole fucking life. And there's no women playing in the NFL, and every year, hundreds, if not thousands of football players retire from the NFL. They need a job after, and they're highly qualified to be broadcasters or analysts. So the reason there aren't many, I mean, if you want to talk about the amount of women interested in sports and the amount of women playing sports versus the amount of women hosting shows on ESPN and FS1, I'd say women are probably a little overrepresented. And if you want to talk about the amount of women in sports analysis and in sports media versus the demand for them in the public, yeah, I'd say they're overrepresented. So enough with this, it's such an uphill battle for women in sports. Women had better thank God that sports media is not a meritocracy. If it was, Dan Orlovsky would be hosting every football show. He's fucking sharp, by the way. Dan Orlovsky is fucking smart.
Joy is one of the few black women working in sports who has a coveted in-studio position. Most of the people you see who are black women working in sports are on the sideline.
Sideline reporters.
Oh, I love that one, too. Like, that's some kind of bad thing or that's some kind of sin. How fucking entitled and spoiled are you? You have a job that a shitload of people working in Indianapolis doing evening news sports would covet. And you sit there and go, women, especially black women in football, they just get to be sideline reporters. There's only so many seats at the table, Gunny. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, being on the sideline is a pretty fucking prestigious position. Susie Colbert made a fucking career out of it. Michelle Tafoya made a fucking career out of it and was very well known. I mean, the audacity to sit there and go, no, they're not even a lot of women who get to have an in-studio role. There's not a lot of men who have an in-studio role. A lot of the in-studio roles go to men, but that's because men are better at analyzing and discussing and talking about sports.
You can count on one hand how many people are in studio, let alone hosting, leading a show in studio, talking about not just one sport, multiple sports.
Okay. And okay, let's put the shoe on the other foot then. Joy Taylor fucked and got job after job after job. She didn't get it there by merit. We know that now. She didn't get the job by merit, but she still got the job. So she overachieved. I guess thank yous are in order then? Because an underqualified person is working an in-studio job, but you claim there's still this uphill battle for women. I'll tell you this. A guy starts fucking women to try and get a job in the company they work for, and they're getting fucking fired for sexual harassment.
The there's always been this stereotype about women in sports that, or well, in male-dominated spaces, but we'll stick with sports, particularly in sports, where they're not qualified to have the positions that they have.
Correct. Next point. So far, you're doing great.
That they're getting it because they're pretty.
Good. Point number 2. Well taken. Totally accepted. And by the way, again, this entitlement culture. Who the fuck cares how you got the job? You're getting the job and you're getting paid great for it. And you probably know deep down there's a million guys out there who are more qualified for the gig than you are. Tell me that when it comes to a take on football, that Dan Orlovsky isn't more qualified than Mina Kimes. He 100% is. Let's take people who have fucking YouTube channels. Sage Rosenfels is more qualified. Is Robert Smith still doing college football? Robert Smith is more qualified than Mina Kimes to break down football, but she's got the big job. And like, we're willing to go along with you on this. We're willing to be like, all right, well, she's got the job. That's totally fine. But then you sit there and go, it's not enough that we have the job. You have to acknowledge we got it because we're really good at this. Do I? Do you really? Like, don't push it. Like, don't make me lie. I'll do the honest thing and I'll just go, all right, she hosts the show. Good for her. She got the gig. All right, but now you have to say she's doing it because she's just as qualified as those men to be on a sports show. More qualified than who? Mad Dog Russo? I'm not going to lie. Stephen A. Smith? Not going to lie. Booger McFarland? Not going to lie. Who's they got Chris Sims? Sorry, I can't do that.
And
Steve Young? Nope. Howie Long? Nope. Terry Bradshaw? Well, he is getting up there.
Those women are always having to prove their ability. They're having to show how talented, how knowledgeable they are.
How fucking dare we ask these people who have never played a down of football in their life that they know what the fuck they're talking about. These poor women, she's right. It's a patriarchy. All of us men ought to be put against the wall. For shame that we make these women show that they know what the fuck they're talking about.
And they have to prove their track record constantly. Joy Taylor is somebody who's had to do that. And she is extremely knowledgeable about the sports that she discusses. And
right. She had a great take the other day. She was saying that, when it comes to this wild card round of the playoffs, I think the team you really got to keep an eye on that could be a dark horse in this whole thing is... And I don't know what that sound was, but I didn't see her finish her point.
she's very talented. But now with this complaint, she's got to defend her reputation because people are going to question that because they're always looking for an excuse to question the ability of a woman to hold her own.
No, we're not. We're willing to just let it go and go, we know what this is. We know why you're here. We won't say anything. You don't say anything. Everything's fine. But then you guys sit there and you go, it's not enough. You have to say that it's good. I'm not going to get in your way. Go get the fucking job. But don't make me sit here and lie to you.
When it comes to sports, to sit at the table and talk with men about a sport that they may or may not have played and whether or not they can do it to the same level. Now she is being dragged on social media and questioned about her ability to do that when she's clear.
She's not being dragged about her ability to talk about football. She's being dragged for being a hoe. With peanut butter skin and great cans, as Jason Whitlock says. God damn it. With this fucking victimhood culture. And it's this woman isn't even the one being accused. What is she angling to represent her in the fucking case? If that's the case, just be honest about it. I just told an attorney to be honest. Hee hee. But I just get tired of because I turn on pregame shows for football, or I turn on analysis shows or First Take or whatever, and I'll turn it on and I'll see a panel with two women on it. And I'll go, okay. And then I'll watch the show. And then they'll be, but then socially a woman like this goes, what was that for? What was that okay for? I was like, nothing. I get it. I understand. That's the thing about guys is a lot of us, if you just let it go, we'll let it go. You can't stop us from noticing. We'll notice it, but it won't bother us. We'll be like, nah, that's the thing. Don't go like, you can't say that. Why? So I can't, like, I just have to notice something and have it burned into my eyeballs and just pretend it's not happening. It's not a bad thing that Joy Taylor has a sports job. It's not a bad thing. But I'm not going to sit here and act like she's one of the foremost sports analysts in the country. She's not.
Clearly qualified to, while the men are getting praised for not Skip. I'm talking about Emmanuel Acho.
Emmanuel Acho is getting fucking roasted. Are you high? People are playing his smelling his fingers video and go, you fucking simp. You fucked her brains out and then you went in your car and smelled your fingers and promoted her and said, she's the greatest. She's so fucking talented. She's amazing. This is a fucking horseshit take. What's her name? Rachel Lindsay. Are there any more clips of her? Like, is she like hot take culture? Rachel Lindsay. Oh, she's been on The View? She was on The Bachelorette? Oh. Okay, this makes sense. So she was famous. Pressure to play up romance in the public eye. I'm not going to make you guys watch a View clip when I don't know what it is. Rachel Lindsay talks divorce, dating, and the future. Oh, God. So she was a reality star person. All right. Well, it makes a little bit of sense then, I guess. LOL with $1.99. Thank you very much. Vadam with $5 says, I am excited for Rumble South Korea Friday. I love Rumble Fridays. Hey, we've been a little low on Rumble Fridays, Vadam. So, yeah, your contributions would be very much appreciated. It would be a great return for Vadam on Rumble Fridays. Over on Venmo tonight, thank you very much to James, $5. He says, how about this? Chad can have the offering plate segment as compensation for the hype train. Chad can keep doing the hype train. I am giving him franchise rights to the hype train. I mean, we can negotiate this part, but I feel like it should be called the Steel Toe Hype Train. I think he should have to call it that. But, like, I don't think that Chad should have gone so far as to invoke finders keepers. I thought that was a little aggressive this early in the game. I'm just getting my feet wet again. I'm trying to knock the rust off my hype train, and he's invoking finders keepers. I find it to be... quite frankly, I'm taking it as an aggressive move, and I will respond in kind. I think Chad should have to call his hype train the Steel Toe Hype Train. Triple N says, are you continuing the hype train? I might. I think this might be too good to let go. I think we've got something here. Chad raised its stock, and I might bring it back. 180 away from tonight's goal. Guys, go ahead and... light up the PayPal and the Venmo and the Streamlabs. Let's recover from last night's $70 miss. $70, not something that we're going to fucking lose our shit about, but let's go ahead and stack some W's here on the evening show. Hey, big news. Johnny's coming back tomorrow. Johnny texted me today. I sent him all the show prep for tomorrow, and he says his fever broke. He's healthy again. It's been a week, but he got rid of the fever, and he's good. So I'm excited about our boy coming back. All right, Gray Duckling with $10 says, how much for me to be on the board? Oh, and that looks like that. Yep, that looks like a penis. That's for sure. That looks like a penis. How much for you to be on the board? Gray Duckling. Unless my eyes deceive me, you are at $20. And right now, the number 4 spot is $45. So $30, I suppose, would do it. Gray Duckling. Anything over 100 gets you in second place, and 135 is the top of the heap right now, my man. It looks like this. Wally World at 135, Flinty Gecko at 100, Coyote NV at 73, Rust Belt and Coltrane at 45. So you would need another 30 to pass them. and you would need another 120 to get past Wally World. So if you're feeling generous tonight, don't you dare tease me, you little slut. I want to knock out that goal tonight and break that evening show losing streak. Helgi says, Aaron, can you do us all a favor and give that polo to Goodwill? You know what? I'm not going to sit here and be bullied out of my polo. I like this shirt. And if you guys don't like this shirt, then that's okay. We have a disagreement on the shirt. I don't have to do everything you guys tell me to do. I am going to keep the shirt. I like it. I enjoy it. I like the pattern. Somebody called it the Windows 98 shirt. I enjoy. I like. MSO says, how about you guys getting the ring when it keeps the hype train? How about you guys getting the ring when it keeps the hype train? What? MSO, I need you to resend that so I understand what you were talking about. MSO says, giving that shirt to Goodwill would be bad will. Hey. Dive Bar says, SP, buy him some new shirts. Make him look like Donnie Brasco. Forget about it. I don't need to look. People say I already look like Johnny Depp. I don't really need, especially in the hairline area. They say I look very good. Actually, in high school, I used to get Michael Keaton. And ever since pretty much college, I've gotten Rainn Wilson. When I was in high school, I would get Jim Carrey and Michael Keaton. And then after high school, it was Dwight. It was never Rainn Wilson. Nobody ever said, Aaron, you look like Rainn Wilson. They would always specifically say Dwight Schrute. I got called Dwight Schrute a lot. A lot. An uncomfortable amount. All right, Gray Duckling with $26. Thank you very much, buddy. I almost said baby. God, I'm getting fucking gay these days. That puts him at 46, and he has now officially bumped Rust Belt and Coltrane out of the top 4 with his $46. Thank you for the 25, Gray Duckling. I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and put that on the board. 150 away from tonight. Keep it up, guys. That sounds like rally material to me. We get under 100 by 5 minutes left, and we're doing a hype train to end the show. That's the deal. Let's go to... winner keeps the train. Winner of what keeps the train? I don't understand. How about you guys okay. How about you guys get in the ring? Winner keeps the hype train. That's not fair. Like, you guys keep wanting to put me in boxing matches with all these guys. That just makes me look like a bully. I don't want to be a bully. Like, someone this morning was like, Camelot said he would box you. I would fucking destroy Camelot in a boxing ring, and that's not a brag. I box, he doesn't. I mean, that would just be bullying. Again, it's like me having a NASCAR race with him. It doesn't make any sense. He'd fucking destroy me because he does that. I don't. So saying like you should battle Chad for to keep the hype train in a boxing match. That's not fair. I'd look like such a fucking asshole for like challenge. Now, if someone says they want to fight me and I say, okay, fine, let's do it. I mean, that's fine. But me like challenging someone, my rule is if they bring it up first, okay, cool. Even then, I'm kind of like, I don't know if you want to do that. But me bringing it up first would just be kind of a shit move. MSO says, how about a comic battle? Well, now, see, I'm going to give Chad respect there. Chad has been a working comedian, still is a working comedian, and he's a better stand-up comedian than I am. I've had my days. I started out emceeing at Benton Station in Sauk Rapids, Minnesota, headlined plenty of shows, featured on plenty of shows that were steel-toe shows and not steel-toe shows, but my work is infrequent. It's a couple times a year, and let's just say that my writing days have become very lazy, if not non-existent. Usually if I get booked for something, which again is like once or twice a year, like I had the 3rd Street thing, I probably wrote for a day or two beforehand. And that was a private work event. And when you do those private work events, pro tip, if you ever do comedy, if you get hired for a private event to do a company thing, don't try to lean on your material. Like, honestly, those guys at their Christmas parties and their anniversary parties and their company parties, they want you to interact with them. Like, crowd work is the way to go when it comes to private events. Like, I tried to do like a set, and then like this one guy was really drunk and like having a good time and yelling stuff. So I just ripped on him, went to some of his other coworkers, talked to them about him, and that part of the show just fucking killed. And I know comedians kind of fight that urge because it feels like cheating to them. But there's nothing like, if it's a laugh, it's a laugh. If it, what's the saying? Respect the kill. Those people paid to have you make them laugh. That's your job. If it seems cheap, maybe it's just because it was easy. It was just easy work that night. Nothing wrong with that. How about who can eat the most SpaghettiOs? Ooh, they get so hot in your belly after a while. And of course, we all remember his jokes from the 10th anniversary. Oh, that was a nightmare. Rexstart parody account wants to call it the Thrilla for Quesadilla. Thank you. Let's go to Gray Duckling. $5 says, I'll box you. You'll beat the shit out of me. But if you want to Olympic wrestle, I think I can hold my own, even you weighing more than me. I don't know how to fucking wrestle. You know what I know how to do? I know how to do one of those leg shoots. But I bet you if like a real wrestler saw me like shoot legs, it would look like a sloth. It would look really fucking slow. I have no idea what I'm doing if it came to Olympic style wrestling. I could... I don't even know, like, if someone challenged me to like Olympic style wrestling, if I could even like hold my own for a few seconds. I'd have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Rusty Grammar says, Aaron, your audience mainly wants you to be racist, myself included. Yeah, I kind of got that when you guys just started chanting the N-word after drinking for 7 hours at the anniversary party. But you know what? That's my fault. And I caught a lot of shit for that, and I deserve it, because here's what I did wrong. I had a 7-hour outdoor drinking party to celebrate 10 years of Steel Toe, and then I decided to take those 150 to 175 drunks that had been, at least 60% of them had been out on a patio drinking in the summertime all fucking day, and then I brought those people inside, and I expected them to be, like, nice and normal for a comedy show. Yeah, fucking right. Yeah, right. No Pen 15 Fathead with $5 says, call Chad on his drunk hotline to discuss the hype train. 323-977-9642. Is that the drunk hotline number? You know what? If I end up going to that, there's a craft beer festival in St. Cloud in a week and a half. And I think SP and I are going to go to it. Why don't I go to the craft beer tour, and then I'll give Zumach's drunk hotline a call, and we'll have a legal battle over the hype train. I'm already planning. This is what happens when you're old and you have kids. You plan your social life 2 weeks in advance. 383 Novocaine becoming a member for 31 months. Says, my God, 31 months of this dumpster fire. Speaking of fire, California is burning just like Minnesota's homeless encampments. I saw that. There is multiple, I think it's like 200 plus acre wildfire right now out in California. It's bad. MSO says, now that's a great idea. Call the drunk hotline. See? I'm thinking about it. Dive Bar says, yeah, but it's only a messaging system. I don't think he answers it. I know. That's fine. Rusty says, 7 hours. I start drinking at 9 a.m. like an adult. Carlos says, bring Will Heron to the 11th anniversary show so he can join in the slurs. No, I don't want to get Will in trouble. Will is where I want to be. Will's in like legit media. I want to get back to legit media again. So I got to behave myself, and then Will's got to behave myself. I got word without saying too much, I got word from our people on the legitimate end of this business. They're like, get all your shit taken care of, and then let's row the fucking boat. What do you say? I'm like, please. And then it's one of those things where you're like waiting for a deal and a thing to happen in the radio business. God damn, it's like watching glaciers move. I remember in 2011, I started talking to Rockin' 101 about doing a morning show there while I was doing radio in Litchfield. And we didn't have the first Steel Toe morning show until 2014. 2011, 3 fucking years. I knew of and was talking to Gary. I remember in 2011, I did a live broadcast from Milner Heritage Vineyard and Winery. I did a live show from out there. Could you imagine people going to have a nice wine tasting day and I'm sitting there in the corner yelling about shit? And I remember I met Gary there and he gave me his card. He goes, give me a call. Maybe we can work together. He knew talent. He just didn't know what a pain in the ass I was. So we start talking about putting this thing together. It's you dig in for the long haul. It's not a battle of Gettysburg. It's more of a siege. Dive Bar says, but you can be fired in a millisecond. Isn't that the thing? That's the craziest thing. It took me 3 years to fucking get that job. It took me an hour to lose it. Yankee says, radio is such a dead medium, though. How do they still pay their bills? Ooh, that's incorrect. That's the common misnomer. Radio still pulls in a fuck ton of money. It's just not as much as it used to be. The reason it seems that radio's dead is because they started spending money based on how much they made. And now because there's more competition, the amount of revenue they make has bottomed out and it's gone down. And now they have to cut to meet that new reality. But still, 91% of people listen to the radio every week. You've got, the revenue there is way more than it is in podcasting, believe you me. It's that advertising money is still pretty hot. There's a reason that Paul Allen is a household name in Minnesota, the Vikings radio play-by-play guy. Yeah, it's not a dead medium. It's just it's in a watered down media now. That's all. So yeah, advertising, marketing, shit like that. All right, guys, we are 140 away from knocking out tonight's goal. Let's, 110, 120 by the top of the hour. I think it can be done. We got Gray Duckling moving up into the Chad Zumach rankings. You can do it too, if you'd like to. Go ahead and check it out. Yeah, I always, like people like Yankee will say, well, I don't listen to the radio anymore. Yeah, neither do I, but I also know that I'm in the minority. The sooner you realize that the more you're into like the internet and shit like that you're a fucking weirdo, then the sooner you'll be able to kind of gain perspective. We all get caught up in bubbles. It's so easy now to get caught up in bubbles. I get caught up in bubbles. But then I kind of realize, I'm like, oh, I'm a fucking weirdo. I'm into niche weird shit. Whereas most people are pretty simple. They're radio and TV people. Because either that's what they grew up on and that's comfortable for them, or they don't need to be inundated with shit all the time. Like, if you want to immerse yourself in shit, you go on the internet. Some people, most people, as a matter of fact, are naturally adverse to immersing themselves in shit. They want a little bite and then out. That's it. And then, live their lives. Ignorance is bliss, so to speak. And as far as... MSO, we're going to talk about the Jim Norton Sirius XM thing, and we're going to play Opie's clip from it. We got a really fun show today. I'm having trouble right now because I got a lot of fun stuff I want to get to, but you guys are being a lot of fun in the chat tonight, so I'm kind of getting a little lazy. This is kind of the crowd work of the show. Yankee says, Steel Toe is my niche weird shit. And you're 100% right. That is an accurate take. That would be an accurate way to describe us. By the way, over 300 of you checking out the show right now. Hit like, hit subscribe. I do appreciate it. All right, so we got one more Skip Bayless thing here. This is something I was very interested in when this lawsuit came out. Stephen A. Smith has broken his silence on the Skip Bayless accusations that he offered a hairdresser $1.5 million to fuck him. And the other things that are alleged in that lawsuit that she said, well, Skip, you're married, which, by the way, is a woman's way of saying you're not interested or that she's not interested in you, because you've got, like, women, how do I say this nicely? Fuck it, I just won't say it nicely. Women will fuck you even if they're married. They are unscrupulous whores, most of them. If they want to fuck you, they're gonna fuck you, and they'll make up some excuse in their head as to why they're not a dirty, rotten whore for fucking a married man. You know, they'll go like, well, he says he's unhappy. Well, yeah, he's trying to fuck you. He's not going to go, thrilled with my wife. Great woman. Take a look. You see how hot she is? All right, you hot? Let's fuck. No, no quote unquote happy man ever cheated. They all have a line they're peddling, you know? But like, women will know a guy's married and they'll still fuck him because they want to. I think guys are that way too. I think it's a human thing. So like when a woman goes, I can't have sex with you, you're married. That's them. That's a really sweet girl that's just not interested in you. Because she's trying to let you down. She's trying to let you keep your virtue and keep your masculinity while also politely denying your advances. So when she told Skip Bayless, hey, Skip, you have a wife. He's like, well, aren't you Muslim? Your dad probably has 3 or 4 wives. Fucking great. She then told Skip Bayless that she had cancer, thinking that if she told Skip she had cancer, that he would stop trying to fuck her. Did not stop him. And I don't know if she actually had cancer or not. Skip, you can't fuck a girl with bone marrow cancer, Skip. I don't care how hot she is. I don't care if she's got peanut butter skin and big cans, Skip. You can't go out there and trying to fuck a girl who has cancer, Skip. She got soft bones. Her hair's fault. You try to pull her hair when you're in doggy, you end up making a bald, Skip. What's wrong with you? All right, on today's Undisputed, Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless debate whether or not you can fuck a chick who's going through chemo. Skip, it's unconscionable. That is disgusting. I've sat here and disagreed with you on a lot of things, Skip. But pulling a girl's hair when she's on chemotherapy and ripping her hair out, that's disgusting. All right, let's go to Stephen A. Smith's thoughts on Skip Bayless. Oh, by the way, seize the day. Thank you. 279 Canadian says, still think you're better alone. Kind of cringe, some funny. I'll take that. On the internet, that's a high compliment. Let's go to Stephen A. Smith talking about Skip Bayless.
I have to get started with this subject because we all know that anytime you mention Skip Bayless, anybody wants.
Why are we putting Grandpa in a glamour shot as our Skip Bayless thing?
Most folks want to hear what I have to say, and that's where we're going to get started because it's sports media news, which makes it apropos, and it involves a recent lawsuit filed against Fox Sports, and several people, including my buddy Skip Bayless, my former colleague at ESPN.
By the way, I just want to I want to discuss Skip Bayless left for the money at FS1. Stephen A. Smith still calls him my buddy, my friend. Do you think, I'm sorry, Stephen A. still calls him my buddy, my friend. Do you think Stephen A. still refers to Max Kellerman as my friend? Oh, he fucking hated Max Kellerman. He really wanted him off that fucking show. And that's too bad because I thought they were really good together. But you know what? Nothing compares to Stephen A. Smith and Mad Dog Russo. It is unbelievable that you would say that my former partner is a sex pest. Well, I don't know what you're saying there, Stephen A. Clearly he wanted to fuck a girl with cancer. You can't fuck a girl with cancer. You're trying to pull her hair and her hair falls out. Stephen A. You can't fuck a girl with cancer. Now, of all the things you've ever said, Mad Dog, you saying that Skip Bayless can't fuck a girl with cancer is just wrong. A girl with cancer can consent to sex. You say a girl with cancer can consent to sex? What are you fucking her tumor's gonna bleed? What if you stick your dick in and you hit a cancer, Stephen A., and all of a sudden it's metastasizing? A Jew and a black guy yelling at each other about sports is way better than it should be.
Suit filed by a woman named Nasheen Faraji, a former hairstylist for the company.
No offense, Skip Bayless. Act your fucking age, Grandpa. Jesus Christ, this is embarrassing. Hey, baby, I got my new Jordans on. I'm sitting in my brand new sports car. You're 75 years old. You should be driving a Volkswagen. I think sometimes my Mad Dog Russo turns into Judd Hirsch in Independence Day. Yeah, that is not checkmate. I mean, you knew. I mean, think about it. You knew then. Area 51, and you did nothing. You had the aliens in the spaceship.
Cites several instances of workplace misconduct, okay? The 42-page, that's right, 42-page suit names several defendants, including Fox Sports Executive Vice President Charlie Dixon and even host Joy Taylor. Faraji alleges Dixon grabbed her buttocks at a birthday party, and when she relayed the encounter to Taylor, the Fox host allegedly told her to, quote, get over it, end quote. As for
Oh, boy, yeah, stand up for her. She's a real woman supporting women in the workplace. Here's the thing about Joy Taylor. She's full of shit when she talks about this women's stuff. She was in it for herself, and everyone else could fuck off or fuck her. So I don't ever want to hear Joy Taylor pull the girl power card. A lowly hairdresser came to her and said, Charlie Dixon grabbed my ass. I'm really uncomfortable. Oh, get over it. I fuck him. How do you think I feel?
Skip Bayless, Faraji says he touched her inappropriately and propositioned her for sex, offering her $1.5 million, end quote. I'll get to Tori and her thoughts on for a second. First things first, let me tell you why I had to cover this.
I'll tell you why I had to cover it. Stephen A is in a weird spot because on one hand, he wants to shit on FS1. On the other hand, he's got to kind of throw his buddy under the bus, which really, really sucks.
Number one, it's news. Number two, I was just on the air a few weeks ago and took some heat for the fact that I pointed out that I've been friends with Jay-Z for 25 years. And I know nothing about what happened, no intimate details.
Does that mean you were, now wait a minute, Stephen A., does that mean that you were invited? Were you at the Diddy parties? Were you at the Diddy? No, answer the question, Stephen. I love the idea. I want like Stephen A. and Mad Dog to debate like January 6th. Great job, show host.
He can't be irresponsible and not try to interfere with a legal matter, a lawsuit. But in the same breath, I didn't think it was a crime to point out that the person that I've known for 25 years, I've never seen somebody that would be capable of that, with that meaning that person that I was around for 25 years. The same applies to Skip Bayless. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't work at Fox. I worked at Fox from 2001 to 2003. I haven't been there. I haven't been in that building in over 20 years. I don't know any details or anything like that. And I'm not here to castigate Ms. Faraji or anybody else. I don't know Charlie Dixon that well, even though he used to work at ESPN. I don't know Joy Taylor that well, even though she and I have.
Did you fuck her? You know, this sucks because, like, people are not going to believe Stephen A. Smith when he says, like, oh, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about, I didn't know anything about Jay-Z. It doesn't seem like the guy I knew. I didn't know anything like this about Skip Bayless. Doesn't seem like the guy I knew. And so people are going to say, oh, what, Stephen A. doesn't even fucking know anything about his friends. Dude, that's guys. I have, like, one of my, I'd say if I had to make friend power rankings, the guy who's probably number 3, the guy who's like 3rd in my group of friends, I still don't fully know what he does for a living. Guys are just like that. We don't get into that kind of shit. We talk about sports. We talk about golf. We talk about whatever. We talk about the dumbest shit known to man. It doesn't get real deep. So when it comes to like Stephen A. going, well, I didn't know this side of this person. And then people going, oh, you're just covering for him. No, I believe him. I believe that he didn't know that side of these guys. Dive Bar says, I guess that means he wasn't as good of friends as he thought he was. No, see, I don't believe that either. I don't think Skip Bayless was going around the halls, going to Stephen A. and other people and going, hey, I just offered that girl $1.5 million to take my dick. Like, I don't think that was something he was doing. So I would believe Stephen A. when he says, I never saw that side of him. People don't usually advertise that side of themselves to you unless they think like, you're down with it too. POTUS Felonius with $2 says he types it out. A sphincter says what? It's supposed to be like it's supposed to be a verbal thing, so it's something you can't understand, so that the person will then say what. You don't just type it out as the word. Thank you, POTUS Felonius. I appreciate the $2. And seize the day, gifting a membership. Guys, we love gifted memberships here on Steel Toe. Thank you very much. Hey, we're coming up on the top of the hour, and we are 135 away from tonight's goal. Hey, in the next 2 minutes, let's see if we can drop in about $10. Hold on. I'm getting a message from one of our fans here. Oops, there we go. They want to send me an update on something. Gray Duckling with $5 says, homo says what? See, now it doesn't work when you do it that way. It's that I don't want to explain how the thing's supposed to work. But thank you, Gray Duckling. That puts you at $56 for the week. West Coast Patriot Girl says Aaron doesn't talk to his friends. He just swaps wives with them. No. Clopogram is accusing me of getting deep in Nick's ass. No, never. By the way, I did notice in that long post he had, someone showed me, he's changed his story now. The cum-eating story that he made up is different. Before he saw, now he says he didn't see. Aaron's story has been consistent. It never fucking happened. See, this is why sometimes you laugh shit like that off, because eventually it all kind of unravels on its own. Dive Bar gifting a sub on Rumble. Gray Duckling gifting a sub on Rumble. Look at that. Oh my God. The gifted members, the gifted subs are coming out on Rumble. Thank you. 125 away from today's goal. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. Oh, Pants Maestro is trying to simp. I don't think it's going to work, buddy. Sorry. Everybody knows the facts, brother. And by the way, I thought you were my fan. Cut it out. I love you, Pants Maestro. You're right. I just don't want to see you slip back into a guy who takes shit too seriously again. You were a lot cooler when you didn't. I don't want to lose you now. I don't want to lose you to the internet. You pulled up a while back. I don't want to see you get back into bloodthirsty crazy guy mode. Don't do it. You're better than that. All right, off we go. Yes, we are done with all of the what do you call it? All of the not Stephen A. Joy Taylor stuff. All finished. All done. Now we move on to the Jim Norton portion of tonight's show. Pants Maestro says, I was off and I guess old habits. Thank you, Pants Maestro. See, I like that when people can admit they're like, look, I got a little carried away there. My bad. I appreciate Maestro. I appreciate it. 125 away from today. Throw in a couple of bucks. Let's get under $100 before the final 5 minutes of today's show. We appreciate it. So, Jim Norton, I was a big Opie and Anthony fan back in the day. I was there, I was hanging in till the very end, actually. And I got to work with Anthony. I got to work on Compound. I got to host his show. I got to do a show at Compound. I got to be a guest on the Anthony Cumia show. I got to do my own show on Compound Media. I was honored that Anthony allowed me to do that on his network. I have nothing but respect for the guy, huge influence on me. I really appreciate every opportunity he gave us. I believe the interview we did with him when he came on our show, I think it's the most watched video we have. Really appreciate it. Got nothing but great things to say about the guy. But I don't like that people are saying that this Jim Norton announcement is like, oh, it's the end of the Opie and Anthony era. I don't like that. It's like when in the 90s when people kept trying, or I guess even today, people keep trying to bring the NWA World Heavyweight title back. And it's like the NWA died back in the late 80s. Stop it. You know, just because you say it's that thing doesn't mean it's that thing. The Opie and Anthony show has been dead, RIP, for over 10 years now, 10 and a half years. I think it's disrespectful to Opie and to Anthony to say that any remnants of that is still the Opie and Anthony era. Once Anthony got fired from that show, you know, one thing I think you have to give Opie, I know a lot of people give Opie shit, but one thing you got to give him is after Anthony was fired, his desire was to move on and do something else and do a different kind of show. Whether or not that show was going to be good, whether or not that show was going to be bad, or whether or not, honestly, I think shows Opie did were just kind of there. If you were looking for something to listen to kill some time, it wasn't the worst thing out there. The problem was it would always be compared to the Opie and Anthony show, and that's not fair. Same thing with what Anthony did. Nothing Anthony has done since the Opie and Anthony show is as good as O&A. That was lightning in a bottle. You're never going to get that back. I mean, my God, Anthony's slumming it with all the rest of us now. Believe you me, he deserves better. But people are saying that this Jim Norton video we're about to watch is, this is the end of the O&A era. I want to be very clear. The O&A era died in 2014. And it was never coming back. But that in mind, here's Jim Norton. Now, for a few days, people have been talking about, hey, Jim Norton is leaving Sirius XM. You've got Sam Roberts, I guess, continuing on doing the show on Sirius. He's going to be the guy, and he's going to somehow carry a show on his own. This is Jim letting people know, I guess, on a podcast or an independent video that he's leaving. He's gone from Sirius.
After 20 years, I am no longer working at Sirius XM. I didn't know how I was going to make the announcement. I don't think that this is some earth-shattering announcement. I think people kind of sensed it coming. I knew it was coming for 3 years. I've been telling my managers and my agents, like, I think they're going to come in with an offer, and I was right almost to the dollar what they were going to offer me. It just, I don't like how they did it necessarily. They kind of waited until the holidays were here so that I couldn't talk about it on the air.
I mean, that's shitty, but that's radio. I mean, that's universal in that business. I mean, media in general. And that's smart on Sirius XM's part. Is it shitty to Jim? Yeah, but they're not in the protect Jim Norton business. They're in the protect Sirius XM business. And the history of guys who come from the Opie and Anthony show are, they'll fucking light you up on air if they want to. So I can understand why they did it then. But it sounds like they were kind of lowballing Jim for a few years now, and there's a reason for that. And look, man, Jim Norton's fucking crazy talented. Some people talk shit about Jim Norton. The guy's really, really funny. The guy's been great on the air for a long time, and the guy kept the lifeboat remnants of a sunken ship treading water for 10 years. That's an accomplishment. There aren't many people who were the offshoot of another show who kind of kept that alive. The very simple reason that he was getting lowballed by SiriusXM is twofold. Number one, SiriusXM doesn't have the money they used to have. SiriusXM doesn't have the market share they used to have. And number two, Jim Norton is not the draw he was 10 years ago. And I don't think that's not insulting Jim Norton. That's just, shit changes. Howard Stern doesn't have the stroke he did 10 years ago. This is evolution, Anthony Cumia had to shut down his network, for Christ's sake. Things change. Audiences shrink. And that's kind of what happened here. I slowly but surely, the fans of the old Opie and Anthony show, a lot bailed when Anthony got fired, then more bailed when it was Opie and Jim, then more bailed when it was Jim and Sam, and now Sam's going to be left with whatever audience he has. I really don't think there's a lot of stars left on Sirius XM. There's Howard Stern and Megyn Kelly? I think Megyn Kelly still gets a lot of heat. Other than that, is Mad Dog still on there? So you got Mad Dog, Megyn Kelly, Howard Stern. I don't know who else is out there, but those are the three that come to my mind right away, and I'm not a Sirius XM listener.
But I feel like I'm not comfortable just making a serious announcement. I'm hoping that people like this. This is my advice show. It's going to be called Jim Norton Can't Save You. And it's the Jim Norton Advice Show, except I'm going to have a guest sometimes, not every time. The first 2 episodes are...
And I don't know if he's going to do that on YouTube. I don't know if he's going to do that on somebody's podcast service or what. But I'm sure he'll have a decent-sized audience for that. I'm sure people will want to listen to it. Jim Norton's been a personality that people have invested. They've invested in his life and his entertainment for 25 years on the radio. So, I'm sure there's going to be an audience for it.
Really good. But then again, what am I going to say? Like, if I literally am not as serious anymore and I just did 2 lousy shit podcast episodes, I wouldn't tell you that. Hey, this sucks. Come watch this. It sucks.
Everything comes to an end. So, I know the fashionable thing on podcasts is to just beef and shit talk and all that. I can't shit talk the run Jim Norton had. Jim Norton stayed on the radio for 25 years. That's fucking hard. And doing a show that wasn't like, hey, we got a 2 for Tuesday coming up, blah, blah, and he spun records. This was a guy who did hard-hitting, edgy talk radio for 25 years. And talked about how he banged trans hookers. You want to talk about LGBTQ shit? Jim Norton talked about it before it was cool. And I think you got to put some respect on his name. He occupies a spot in broadcasting history. He kept it going for 25 years. Much respect to Jim Norton. And good luck to whatever he decides to do in the future. I'm sure he'll do very well with it. I'm sure he'll do a good job. And, he's not exactly a spring chicken anymore. A lot of these guys that are done, they're in their 50s, they're in their 60s. A lot of these shows can just be like their Social Security. It can be a retirement plan in a way. Dive Bar says, that's not saying a whole lot. Dee Snider was on the radio for how many years? I got news for you. Dee Snider's still on the radio. I don't want to disappoint you with that news, but Dee Snider is still on the air. In fact, Rockin' 101 would carry his show, his syndicated show at noon, and I think they still do. Carlos Cameo with $1 says SiriusXM's entire revenue is people who forgot to cancel their trials when they bought their new car. It's a lot of it. Not only that, but it's also they do advertising. I know they bought Pandora a while back. It's just subscription radio is just seems like a hard thing to do nowadays. So that means that we've got to get everybody's response to Jim Norton no longer being with SiriusXM satellite radio. And you know who decided to pop up and talk about Jim Norton's departure from satellite radio? And also, I think this person who commented on it might be a little sour about their own departure from satellite radio, and he's kind of enjoying sticking the knife into the corpse of the Jim and Sam show. Because you have to remember, and it's Opie, by the way. We're going to play an Opie clip here. You got to remember, Opie was the morning guy after Anthony left. It was the Opie and Jim show. And Opie and Jim did not get along, and they broke up the show. And Sam Roberts kind of snuck in there and got the morning show, and it was him and Jim. Jim said he wanted to do radio with Sam, and they said, Opie, you're off to afternoons. Then Opie filmed a guy taking a shit, and the rest is history. This is Opie talking about Jim Norton leaving Sirius XM satellite radio. And, it sounds like it's mutual because SiriusXM didn't want to pay Jim a big salary anymore because he wasn't the kind of draw he was when the Opie and Anthony show was on. And Jim didn't feel comfortable working there for what they were going to offer. So that seems like an amicable split. But here's Opie's thoughts on the matter.
Your drunk uncle, $20. Sam Roberts is the last man standing from the O&A days. He's not an O&A guy. He worked for O&A. There's a huge difference. The O&A guys were Opie, Anthony, and Jim Norton.
I agree. That I got to say, you're going to find in this clip, I'm not really going to shit on Opie for this. I think this is a pretty good take. if we're going to count every like Tom, Dick, and Harry producer as like O&A guys, yeah, they were employees. It's not like if a general manager of a Walmart dies, like it's a member of the Walton family dying. It's not the same.
Sam Roberts is the last man standing from the O&A day. No, don't associate him as being an actual O&A guy. What should he change the show's name to without Sam propping up Jimmy? The show should get way better, right? Jimmy almost sank both of their careers. He was so bad. Look,
see, I don't agree with that. I've always thought that Sam Roberts was like a capable host. Like he could throw it to like he wasn't the main personality. Like if they're going to give Sam Roberts a show where his personality can shine and Sam Roberts is going to be the guy, that's not going to do well. Sam Roberts will be out of there in no time. But if he's like going to be, ironically, he's a good Opie. Like Sam Roberts is an Opie where he can kind of keep the flow of a show. He's a radio professional who knows how to pace things out, kind of a PD on the air kind of a vibe. And that always bummed me out that Opie resented that classification because that's a skill that you need. Anthony doesn't have it. Jim doesn't have it. Opie had it, but he wanted to be seen as more than, he was a point guard who wanted to be a power forward. Your team needs a point guard.
I'll tell you this much. Sam Roberts is not a good person at all, literally at all. And this was his long game. Supposedly, Jim is no longer with the Jim and Sam show. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not following along with this nonsense. I do.
You're following along. You're following along. Come on, that's okay. Why wouldn't you? I'd follow along. Sure. I mean, I don't follow along with what 101's doing, but like, I know that people would tell me if like John Lastman was gone because I'd call up Gary and go, let's hook it up one more time. He'd do it too. I'll tell you that right now. If I think he likes that Lastman doesn't rock the boat. I mean, Lastman doesn't get any view or any audience, but he doesn't rock the boat and Gary doesn't have to constantly take phone calls about him and he probably works relatively cheap because he's in like his 70s. So it's kind of a retirement plan deal. But if Lastman leaves and I were to pick up the phone and call Gary, it would get hooked up again. That's for sure.
You know that my social media exploded. Oh my God, Jim Norton is no longer with Sirius XM. We're crushing our radios. We're burning our radios. We're protesting. We're calling and canceling our subscriptions. It was crazy all over my social. Oh no, it wasn't. I didn't get
Opie, you know what? Opie kind of getting a little bit of a dickhead shot in there. And that's true, dude. He's not lying about that. Like as soon as I think TM Zumach broke the news that Jim Norton was gone from Sirius XM, I tried to look up something on Twitter and there was nobody was tweeting about it. I tried to look something up on YouTube. It was all stuff from like 6 months ago. You kind of like, I don't think the Jim and Sam show garnered any heat over at Sirius XM.
One tweet about it. Oh boy.
You know, that's a legit laugh. That's not like an I'm hiding the fact that that's not the case laugh. He is right about that. I can back that up.
The times changed. But I'll tell you this much. I knew Sam Roberts pretty well. I got a million text messages where he trashes Jim Norton over the years.
A million seems like a lot, Opie. Jesus Christ. Did the kid ever stop texting? Millennials, am I right?
Sam Roberts never liked Jim Norton. Sam Roberts never wanted to work with Jim Norton. This was his long game. He got exactly what he wanted.
Fucking Sam Roberts is goddamn Charles Dance in Game of Thrones over here. Tywin Lannister. This was Sam Roberts' long game. He was just waiting. He was putting Jim in the right position so he could kick him the fuck off the Iron Throne and take it for himself.
His own mediocre show at Sirius XM. And yes, it's a mediocre show. He'll continue for a few years, but he'll just be another one of these who gives a crap shows at Sirius.
I mean, I know everybody wants to hate Opie, but like, this isn't a bad take. This is a pretty reasonable take. In fact, these predictions are probably going to check out.
Name one show at Sirius where you're like, oh my God, it's a must listen. I don't think they have it except for Howard Stern. I guess you got to Still give it to him.
Howard still gets really big guests. I mean, Howard's obnoxious as fuck now, and he's a fucking pussy, but he still makes news every once in a while. All during COVID, he was making news. His interviews make news. You got to give him that. Megyn Kelly still goes viral here and there on Sirius XM. So they got a couple names, but no, Sam Roberts is not one of them.
And we'll see what Jimmy can finally do on his own, because yes, Jim Norton was propped up for a million years.
Unfortunately, I don't think I think Jim's going to get lost in the noise in the podcast world. I don't say that with any kind of glee. I don't know Jim Norton, but I think he's just going to kind of get lost in the shuffle in all of this noise that's out there. Pakistan with 199 says 1017 needs to turn up their signal dial. You know, I wanted to talk to Cowpote because, we got the football playoffs and everything going on. I wanted to go and talk to Cowpote about the Vikings. I can't remember. He's a Cowboys fan, I think. MSO says maybe Jim Norton needs the hype train. Well, apparently Jim Norton's got to go through me and Chad Zumach to get the hype train. Turtle Shell says, Charles Dance, you fucking fat titty dork, new boot goofing. What? Didn't I say Charles Dance? I thought I said Charles Dance. Did I get something wrong? I don't know. Or is it, are you just saying that I'm a piece of shit because I knew the name? Oh, man. Oh, boy. Well, guys, we got what? We got 40 minutes left. We got a ton of shit to do, too. Got a ton of stuff going on. 125 away from tonight's goal. Let's knock it out. Let's call it a W. Let's recover from last evening's program, if you would. Good program. Oh boy, Doom, thank you very much for the tweet. Oh boy, he's higher than a fucking kite, isn't he? Oh boy. At what point are you just fucking gay, really? Thank you, Doom. He's got to be either high or fucking drunk or something. God, he's falling apart. Every time you think the bottom can't fall out with Nick, it falls out further. Whew, boy. It is it's uncomfortable at this. And everyone's telling him to stop. I guess he's on somebody's show. He's not on their show. He's in their chat once again saying that I tasted his jizz. It's just like, I mean, I don't know how many times I can say, Nick, sweetie, it didn't happen. I'm sorry. Like, at one point he says he was in the room, then he said he wasn't in the room, and it's like, just go ahead and say it didn't happen, because there's two things about it. One, you seem still obsessed with me. It makes you look in love with me. Number one, the only visual evidence we have of anyone doing any licking of anyone else is you licking me. So let's be very clear about that up front. You come off like a scorned boyfriend, and you come off like you're still using, quite frankly, and you're calling your ex-girlfriend like the filthiest whore who's ever lived. Even I don't do that. Even when people start doing that shit on my show, I go, all right, guys. Easy. Calm down. Jesus Christ, that guy. And everyone, every comment you read about it, people are like, Nick, stop. You look fucking gay. Even if this were true, which we don't believe it is, you look like a fucking homo right now. Hey, Nick, I would definitely not be in someone's chat obsessing over me like a scorned bitch. I would be on the phone with your mortgage lender. Is who I might be talking to. And maybe the county. Actually, you know what? Don't talk to the county. You might not like what you hear. All right, let's go to this Ben Shapiro clip. Let baby boy seethe. I keep finding these. People keep putting up, I don't know if Ben Shapiro's been mouthing off lately. Maybe he kind of did the Chrissy Mayer thing where he started talking about, not Nikki Glazer, who's the one who did New Year's and is now like trying to posture as more right wing or at least calling the left out on shit. Whitney Cummings. No Pen 15 fathead. Okay, this is the most interesting take I've ever seen on it. Nick is obviously lying about the cum thing, but we all know you ate his cum. So you're saying the story he's telling is not true, but it definitely happened. Okay. Jesus. Like I said, the funniest bit he ever did is making sure that for the rest of my life, I now have to deny that I tasted a man's jizz. So a lot of people are sending out Ben Shapiro clips. I don't know if he like went after Whitney Cummings and said, it's not okay that she's doing woke shit or based shit now. She was woke as fuck for a long time. And it's not, like, I hate this right-wing gatekeeping shit that these people do. People are allowed to, as they get older, as they grow, they're allowed to change their opinion on shit. They're allowed. I mean, that's what getting old does. What's the old saying? If you're a conservative before 30, you have no heart. If you're a liberal after 30, you have no brain. People are allowed to, and if you work in Hollywood, your maturity is naturally stunted. So you turn that to 40 or 50. So like when Chrissy goes like, and you know, Whitney Cummings was for the vaccine, so she can't fight. She's too little, too late. It's like, Chrissy, you were like a big time feminist, pro LGBTQ, like kind of lefty Hillary supporter until you went right wing and tried to get on everybody's conservative show and tried to be Miss MAGA commentary in January 6th. And people let you do that. You got to let her do the same thing. Ben Shapiro, dude, we played a clip the other day of Ben Shapiro talking about how great the fucking vaccine was and why black people need to get on board and Farrakhan's a retard. And Farrakhan was right about the vaccine. You were wrong. Well, now this is a clip about him talking about January 6th. Right after it happened. And anybody who thinks that Ben Shapiro is this fucking super based, he's a fucking truth teller. He tells it like it is. He takes dangerous stances. I find him to be like just a shred better than Crowder. I see Ben Shapiro as, when it comes to conservative opinions, it's lick your finger, see which way the wind's blowing, and then go aggressively to that side. This is Ben Shapiro the day after January 6th.
People. It turns out we now have over a dozen police officers who are injured. There are 4 people who are dead. 1 person was shot. 3 people died in medical emergencies yesterday.
Hey, fuckhead, who got shot, though? It wasn't a cop who got shot. By the way, this guy talks like me after 2 Celsius. It was Ashley Babbitt who got shot.
That's as bad an event as I've ever seen in American public life. Jesus. Frankly, I think that in many ways, it's the worst thing to happen to the United States of America since 9/11. It was cataclysmically awful.
Jesus Christ. And, okay, that's fine. You can have that opinion. But doesn't he like grift off of how January 6th is bullshit now and how it's overblown and it wasn't that big a deal? I don't know if he's a it was feds guy or not. I am, but I don't know if he is or not. I don't watch Ben Shapiro regularly, but I know he's very critical of anyone who thinks that January 6th is a big deal. And now here he is the week of January 6th going, it was the worst thing to happen since 9/11. Like, there's not a lot of difference between this Ben Shapiro and Sonny Hostin on The View. I just don't, I find this guy to be a fucking worm.
Cataclysmically awful. Obviously, a very different sort of thing, considering that 9/11 was a foreign terror attack ending with mass carnage and mass death. But the grave damage done to the sense of democracy, to the propriety of a republic, and to the functional workings of our government yesterday, it was pretty awful.
I mean, and that's the guy some people like. Ben Shapiro's one of those internet guys that people get their takes from. Like people listen to Ben Shapiro and they go, yeah, that's what I'm going to say when my friends argue about Trump or shit like that. They'll quote, but facts don't care about your feelings became his thing. And by the way, Phil Herslit, we already talked about it a little bit ago, but thank you. We had a good laugh about it. But like, Ben Shapiro is one of those guys that people, like conservative people, go to for their feelings. And I don't really know if that's a wise move. I don't know if Ben Shapiro is a guy you want to base your movement on, because like, he's a guy who does a lot of, and it's not like changing your mind, like people are allowed to grow, like I was saying before about Whitney Cummings. He does a lot of changing with the way the wind's blowing. Like, wasn't Ben Shapiro, he wasn't a never Trumper, but he was like, early on in the 2016 race, there were a lot of conservatives who acted like being for Trump was like, it meant you couldn't be intellectual. It meant you couldn't be intelligent. Like, siding with Trump was a sign of like being a bit of a Neanderthal. I don't like that. That's kind of some elitist bullshit, and he's supposed to be against that kind of a thing. So this is the second clip now we've played of Ben Shapiro having a complete 180 take very recently about something he kind of makes his bread and butter now. Yankee 330 with $10 says, it's been a few weeks since my last donation. Well, thank you, Yankee.
And in my club, I will splash the pot whenever the fuck I please.
I appreciate that, buddy. And 199 from Friendly Comic Fan says, Chad Zumach's hype train won. Chad Zumach's, we said that when we brought back the hype train. We said that Zumach's hype train was going to win for a while because we're rusty. But as the innovator and the inventor of the hype train, when we knock the rust off, we're taking it back. And Chad can still do it. I'm giving him permission. I'm franchising the hype train. He has my permission. He's my Gallagher too. But once we get that thing rolling again, look out. All right, guys, we are 110 away from tonight's goal. Everybody throw in $10. We'll get this thing knocked out. You know, remember, that morning show audience today, they came in and they said, yeah, fucking evening show people. You can't count on them for a goddamn thing. They're all worthless pieces of shit. They're a bunch of gays. So on and so forth. This, that, and the other thing. Oh, just an absolute piece of human garbage. I mean, I was appalled when I heard what the morning show people said about you. Can't hit a goal to save their life. Unsupportive, not real steel toe fans. The morning show audience is way better. A bunch of motherfuckers, man. I stood up for you. I said, that's nonsense. They're going to knock out that goal tonight, and they're going to shove it up your ass. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says, Clippers fucked you by not posting the morning hype train. I loaded with Zumach insults. Oh, I don't expect, I mean, the Clippers, I can't complain about the Clippers. They clip like 3 things out of my show every day. By the way, I did another clip today. I've decided that wow, Rusty Grammer is not a big fan of Michaela over in the YouTube chat, calling her a crusty internet obsessed weirdo. Yeah, Michaela, we kicked her out of our community. Patrick from I'm Not Right had enough of her and threw her out. She kind of bounces around a bit. She's a bit of used up goods, if you will. She's kind of your bargain barrel fan, if you will. Oh, Rusty Grammer says, you don't deserve the internet and begging for money. You belong on radio. Fuck that TikTok eyebrow cunt. Wow.
I'll fucking kill you, you fucking
No,
faggot.
that's not the one I wanted. Jesus.
Wow.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This isn't very nice. Friendly Comic Fan with 199 says, Ray DeVito is a better stand-up comic than you. I've never seen him do stand-up, but I don't do stand-up very often. You know? So I don't really know if I can say I'm a better comic than Ray DeVito. Because I don't really do if he's still doing stand-up and like he's still getting gigs, he should be a better comic than me. But I don't, I always take pride in how little I know about Ray DeVito. That's one of the things I really, really am thankful for. Phil Herslet says, Michaela only cheated on her husband 4 times in Vegas last year at Whack-A-Mania. Is that true? I mean, I'm kind of in a weird spot because it's not like you can, what are you going to do, Phil Herslit? You're going to report that shit to me and I'm going to be the patron saint of telling people not to cheat and be really faithful? I don't have the best track record. I'm trying to do better, but for the grace of God go I. Okay, pal? That's me like having 6 months sober and someone goes, this person's a falling down drunk. Okay, but not really a lot of room for me to talk on that one, buddy. The final boss becoming a member for 2 months. Thank you very much, buddy. He says, can you play the KB drop again? God.
I'll fucking kill you, you fucking faggot.
110 away from tonight's goal. Guys, do me a favor. Throw a couple of bucks in. Let's get this thing knocked out. We got about 30 minutes left in tonight's show. Let's make $110 and call it another win for the toe. God damn it, man. This fucking state, I tell you. You know, I'm not even going to say this fucking state. I'm going to say Minneapolis. Minneapolis is a goddamn embarrassment. We should be done with George Floyd by now. George Floyd shouldn't be coming up anymore in Minneapolis, but the city of Minneapolis just fucking cucked out to the federal government again. And the federal government, they were standing over Minneapolis, the police department, and going, what are you guys going to do to prevent another George Floyd from happening? Now, I would say make sure that a bunch of poor black people don't get their hands on a shitload of fentanyl and then do it all before the cops pull them over. But I guess that wasn't the answer the federal government was looking for, because they still think that Derek Chauvin's knee was the only thing that killed George Floyd. So now, because of this one guy, this one asshole running into this other asshole, now the whole police department needs to change. The Minneapolis, it's been 5 years almost. I think we can be done with the bullshit. The Minneapolis City Council on Monday approved an agreement with the federal government in response to the murder of George Floyd that would require reforms within the city's police department under long-term court supervision. The agreement was not immediately released publicly, but it was expected to incorporate and build on changes the police department has already made to its policies on the use of force and training of officers in the wake of Floyd's death in 2020. I mean, shouldn't it be one of those things where, like, enough time has passed, we know enough about what really happened, and we've watched the overcorrection since and the impact it's had on crime in major cities. It's been really bad. We should be done. No more tinkering with police departments. If anything, police departments should be getting more power to enforce the law, because they really, George Floyd is to policing what the Treaty of Versailles was to Germany. They used this one incident to just completely strip police of any, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to live in a police state, but I would like a place where if someone's robbing a Walgreens, they get fucking tackled and the Walgreens gets their shit back, and stores aren't closing all over the place because, you can't enforce robbery laws or shoplifting laws. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm not saying we should turn this shit into Demolition Man. But for God's sake, we haven't gone far enough. We haven't gone far enough in that direction. Clopogram says Derek Chauvin will be released. Could you imagine if Trump fucking Trump pardons Derek Chauvin? I think, for the record, Derek Chauvin is an asshole, but I would be here for it if they did a Derek Chauvin pardon, because that would take balls the size of grapefruits. By the way, people are criticizing my pronunciation. I'm sorry. I will say it right. The Treaty of Versailles. Is that okay? Was that froggy enough for you? I apologize. The Treaty of Versailles. 6 hours of broadcasting, Monday through Wednesday. They got to hang me on something. Let's go to numero uno, Josh Denny fan with $1. He says, just checking. We are believing the guy who had an ounce of coke and a positive test on his kid when he says both those things are false, and also when he says that you ingested with no proof. Got it. You know what? I have a theory on that. I don't think it's Nick's fault. I think April was being run out of town. I think April was being forced out, and she wanted to tell Nick something to get back on his good side, so she told him that. I think that Nick was kind of told a story, and he's obsessed with me like a bitch, as it is. So I think he got told something, and you ever get told about something about someone you don't like? And even though you're like, it doesn't sound like it's true, you want to believe it anyway because you fucking hate the person so bad. I think that's probably what happened. Because it was once April started manically tweeting, and once April started going mental, and then, Keanu was telling me, like, yeah, she's on the outs, like she's out, that all of a sudden then this crazy story comes out there. I'm sorry, but if I had that story up my sleeve, I'd pull that one out first. It just seemed a little desperate, that's all. So I think Nick believes what he's saying. I do. I think Nick 100% believes what he's saying. But I think he was, I think it was someone. Now, look, he doesn't know her as well as I do. I know that when April's not getting her way, she makes shit up. When April's not getting her way or she's in any kind of trouble, she tries to deflect the pressure onto someone else. She did it to her ex-boyfriend. She did it to Adrian Washington. She did it to me. She's done it to, I mean, without fail. Some people just cannot take responsibility for the situation they're in. And Nick is susceptible to that as well. So she was being squeezed out of the situation, and she goes, oh, well, here's something Aaron did. Which, again, I will say till the end of time, total fucking bullshit. But if I were him and I were in his position, I'd believe it too. I wouldn't run with it the way he has, because it also makes you look really fucking gay and really obsessive. But I'm going to say I believe he believes it 100%. Thank you very much to Dave with $10. Says, hope you had a good holiday week. I did, Dave. Thank you very much for the $10. McBuster says, well, I don't think you can say Nick gave his kid cocaine. I think you can say, Nick's kid did test positive for cocaine. That's the other thing, like denying that. That's really disappointing. Like, as a father, you should want to do better. It's not a false positive. Are there false positives in hair follicle tests? Remarkably rarely, but yes. But there aren't false positive tests that show 10 times the limit, that show 10 times the bottom, that show regular to weekend use. That doesn't happen. His child ingested cocaine. That's just a fact. It's not even arguable. Clopogram, no, they were not true. Those texts were not accurate. That was, again, someone who was in trouble, who wanted to or wasn't getting their way and was throwing the blame on someone else. It's pretty common. I went through it a lot. Red Fox Mad with $4.99. Thank you very much. Says, check out this news story. Skip around. We will. Liz Collin confrontation to the Minneapolis police chief. All right, we'll check that one out as well if we have time today. $90. Oh, shit. We're in the double digits now, guys. Bring it on home for another win for the toe. Oh, by the way, Dave, thank you for your $10.
And in my club, I will splash the pot whenever the fuck I please.
We are about $90 away from knocking this thing out tonight. Thank you guys very much. Just one more push. Like delivering a baby. One more push, and we've got it. Anonymous says, Aaron pronounced menage a trois. I get it. I said Versailles like a fucking hillbilly. Oh, man. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says, can we get you to submit a hair for semen testing? I don't think that's how it works, but sure. Sure you can. You know what? I'm just happy to help. Just happy to help. That's all. I love you guys, but you're you know what? Every night, every morning, you guys are a fucking ride, and I can count on that. I have more fun than I should have doing these shows. And that one thing I hate about the internet is they forgot the art of ball busting. Everyone's so sensitive and they take everything so seriously, like it's a war. And then you come here and we're just fucking shitting on each other. It's a good time. So what is the? I don't want to get mad about this Minneapolis police shit, but we got a few people were throwing some money at us, and I had to say thank you. I want to know what some of these reforms are. The council approved the deal 12-0 Monday during a brief public vote that followed an hours-long closed-door discussion. Of course, they had to have a closed-door discussion. God, this is all... Everything surrounding this George Floyd thing before and since has been complete bullshit. None of it's been done in the light. We haven't been given all the information. The whole thing was decided before there was even a trial. I mean, it's played out at this point. It's played out. Kloppo Graham, you are incorrect. That's a common misnomer. Kloppo Graham says if a child had that much coke, he would not be back with the parents. Yes, they would. CPS does not want to put kids in the system. You have to fuck up a lot, and you have to fuck up repeatedly in order to get your kids fully taken. They were away on a regular basis for 6 months. I mean, that's what happens. When your kid tests positive for cocaine, they're gone. Until they go, all right, we've investigated, we're taking a look, we've been testing you. The goal of CPS is to always give the kids back. I mean, people way worse than Nick get their kids back. Meth heads get their kids back because the state doesn't want to keep them. They want to give them back because as fucked up as a kid being high on drugs is, as fucked up as a kid having coke in their system is, the system does not want to compound that trauma by putting them in the foster care system if they don't have to. So that actually is a myth, Kloppogram. I don't mean to bust your balls. I don't mean to embarrass you or anything like that. But that is an unfortunate myth about Child Protective Services. Did you guys see Donald Trump got a huge fucking win in the world of tech today? Mark Zuckerberg has... I mean, it seems to me, Mark Zuckerberg has completely bent the knee to Donald Trump. Facebook is going to end their fact-checking. They're done with fact-checking to go to a community notes style system. Now, a lot of people thought that the Facebook fact-checking was liberally biased. It limited conservative speech and expression on Facebook. And that this community notes thing is kind of liberals are pissed about it, conservatives are cheering it. This coupled with the fact that Mark Zuckerberg has said before that he's getting more libertarian as he gets older, he's less liberal than he used to be. I think the MAGA people can see this as a full-blown victory. Let's check out some of Mark Zuckerberg. Look at the little cute boy with his curly hair.
Hey everyone, I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram.
Is it just me, or as this motherfucker moves more to the right, does he get less robotic?
I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today.
In fairness, we all thought you were full of shit back then.
But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more.
Wow.
A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation.
Which, by the way, are not the things that government and media want Facebook cracking down on. They don't care about that shit. They mean Hunter Biden's laptop. They mean Hillary Clinton's emails. They mean make Donald Trump look shitty and make liberals look really good. They don't care if Facebook, you put stuff up there about drugs, terrorism, or child exploitation. Those are three things that liberals really don't see as a priority. But, you know, news that makes their side look bad, oh boy, now you got them.
These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship.
Wow. I mean, guys, this is big. I mean, you remember in 2020, the big story was social media censorship. Facebook and Twitter were censoring the Hunter Biden thing. They were in the bag for Joe Biden. They were in the tank for him. How are Republicans ever supposed to win another election if the two big social media companies, Facebook and Twitter, are in the bag for the Democrats? Well, since then, Twitter gets bought by Elon Musk, and Mark Zuckerberg, at least partially, turns to the right. It cannot be overstated how huge this is. This is to paraphrase Joe Biden, this is a big fucking deal.
The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech.
Holy shit, this guy's about to do this in a Trump hat pretty soon.
So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're...
Not only is this him kind of moving to where the right wants him to be, but it's also an acknowledgement that they've been doing the opposite of that for the last few years. This is him pleading guilty to all the things he's been claiming he's innocent of all this time. I know he's supposed to be one of our evil robot overlords, but I got to say, I think we should give Mark Zuckerberg an attaboy for being able to admit this.
We're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created.
Oh, wow. Holy shit. And look, I know a lot of you are going to write in the chat right now, you're going to say, fucking no shit. But him admitting this is a big deal. Him admitting this is bigger than an election. This is bigger than a bill that gets passed. What do they say? Politics is downstream from the culture. The culture changes first, then the politics change. Facebook, which you can call it boomer book or whatever, it's still the big dog when it comes to social media. It's still the biggest one. Them changing more to what X is doing and being more of a free speech platform is culturally huge, which is going to affect politics down the road. This is big.
Especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far.
Dude, if you were a right-wing militia group and you abducted Mark Zuckerberg and held him at gunpoint like a terrorist and gave him a script to read so you'd let him go, this is what you'd write. Make no mistake, this is more than just lip service. This is again, you can say that I'm being over dramatic about this. This is a seismic shift. This is important.
So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action.
That's big, too. So they're not going to unilaterally take action on shit. Look, I think all of this is great. I'm going to go to you guys and see what you think about it, but I don't think this is lip service. I think this is more than that. I think it's important. Klopogram says Zuckerberg is just sucking up to Trump to stop him fucking Facebook with his attorney general. Maybe. You could be right, but it is happening. How it's happening, I don't know. I guess I can't be in Mark Zuckerberg's head, but it's happening. At least there's that. It looks like an AI video, but it's real, says Bappa Shab. I can't take him seriously with his $1 million watch. I mean, come on. We're nitpicking now. Taste Fairy Ialto says, fuck you, good faith. Sorry. Klopogram, he looks like Temu Eminem. By the way, you're not supposed to say Timu, it's Temu. I learned that recently. I said Timo recently. I got my fucking kids corrected me. Oh, well, their mom's a penny pincher. I'm sure she's used it. She's a bit of a skinflint, as they say. That's the thing. Like Ashley will take her pieces of gum and she'll break them all in half because she says it saves money. True story. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan with $1 says, now what will our grandparents do to feel like badass outlaws if Musk isn't suspending them for yelling at each other in the comments? Thanks for the $1, buddy. Zuck saying these things means fuck all, says NF Caps. Zuck actually doing these things means something. He didn't deserve any ounce of trust until he gives us evidence of change. Actual steel toe wearer, I kind of thought this too, but I thought it was kind of a weird take. But now that you're saying it, I feel comfortable endorsing it. Could the MMA guys be influencing him? It's possible. You're not the first person to bring that up. That maybe doing all this MMA and talking to those guys has maybe made him, a lot, more right wing than he used to be. We'll see. We'll see. No, Pants Maestro, I'm not going to get progressively more aggressive. God, some of you guys you're wound way too fucking tight. All right, guys, we got about 6 minutes left in the show, or we could do an hour of overtime. What do you say? Let's do a half hour. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. Half hour of overtime. The fuck is wrong with me? Half hour of overtime today. Let's do it. We're only $90 away. Let's see if we can get ourselves another win for the toe. We're in the double digits. Start stacking those $5 and $10 gives, and let's see what we can do. The Streamlabs, PayPal, and Venmo links are right there in the chat and pinned to the top of the page. Go ahead and click them. Throw us a couple of bucks, and let's keep this show on the air tonight for an extra 30 minutes. $90 away. Rally up. Again, Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, Venmo, etc. We appreciate everybody who throws a couple bucks at this show in support. If you don't have it, if you can't throw us a couple of bucks, we really appreciate you hitting like, hitting subscribe, all of that happy horse shit. Wally World is in first place with $135 right now. Flinty Gecko is in second with 100. Coyote NV is in third with $73, and Gray Duckling moved into fourth place tonight with $56. So for a lot of you who have already contributed $20-$30, that'll get you up on the board. That'll get you up on the board. And this week, we're giving everybody on the board $50 to Stonies. If you get on the board, $50 to Stonies for you. I think it was Triple N who said, what are these people going to get for, being on the board? You called me out. Everybody on the board's getting $50 to Stonies. How about that? All right, guys, 5 minutes away. Let's go ahead and knock this thing out. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. I'm ready for a rally. We missed by $70 last night. Not the end of the world, but let's do it. Let's go ahead and let's recover from last night's L. We're only $90 away. That's a handful of you jumping in, throwing in a couple of bucks, and making this thing go. You've been great tonight, just like every night. You've been fantastic. Let's chip in a couple more, and let's make this thing go. 4 minutes away. Who's going to start this rally? Hulkamasha Baby says, you married a penny pincher and a gold digger. I'd say you overcorrected. Oh, boy. I think I found the one that's just right. And no, I'm not getting married next weekend. But I think I found the one that's just right. Right there in the middle. All right. $90 away. Oh, boy, guys. Let's go ahead and rally this thing up. Make it go and get ourselves 30 minutes of overtime here on the toe. Guys, I'm starting to think that those morning guys might have been right about you. I told them they were wrong. They said you're all a bunch of skinflint, unsupportive assholes, and I don't agree with that. $2 from Vidam. There's the start. That's the levee breaking. Now let's let the floodwaters hit New Orleans. Aaron, what do you think about Trump wanting to end internet neutrality? I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know enough about net neutrality to fucking sound like an authority on it. Numero uno Josh Denny fan with $5 says, can we ban actual steel toe wearer for referring to Facebook as Fabo? Did he do that? At the very least, that facilitates a very serious discussion. Guys, $40 away from getting 30 minutes of overtime on credit and extending the show. $85 away from today's goal. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats. We got Vidam. We got numero uno Josh Denny fan. You guys join the party, and let's get this thing knocked out. 2 minutes to go. Let's have another rally for the toe, and let's have another win for the toe. We're 2-0 in the mornings. We're 0-1 in the evenings. Don't let these morning assholes win. Like I said, just terrible things about you. Terrible things. And I'm, and quite frankly, be fucking tired of it if I were you. All right, 1:45 to go. Let's go ahead and throw it in there. Rally up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I don't give a shit. Just make it go. Wally World's in first place with 135. That would about do it for me. I think I'd be happy with that number. Johnny's making his big comeback tomorrow. Let's go into the morning show with all kinds of positivity and good things and grifting and money and all this other shit. About 1:20 left to go. Get in there. MSO says your clock is wrong. I'm sorry if my clock is wrong. It's the only one I have. Here we go. 1:10 left to go. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says the morning audience uses Ricada cream in their coffee. What say you, evening viewers? Oh, shit. That sounds like the evening show people are or the morning show people talking more shit about the evening show people. $80 away from knocking it out. 50 seconds to go. Let's see if we can get this thing done. All the links are in the chat. Throw into that PayPal. Throw into that Venmo. We need big fake donos right now. It's like big, like Joy Taylor tit donos is what we need. 30 seconds to go. Let's see if we can put up a fight tonight for the evening show crowd. All right, here we go. 20 seconds left. PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, gifted memberships. Let's make it happen. All right, guys, here comes the final countdown in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. I think is that going to mean $150 worth of losses? All right, now, you know what? Now it's starting to sting. I will say now the evening show losses are starting to hurt the bottom line. 70 last night and 80 tonight. Ooh, that hurts. So I'm going to end the show really slow tonight and see if you guys want to go ahead and throw in a couple of bucks and stop me from flop sweating as we leave this evening. We got Johnny coming back tomorrow. I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight. It's going to be terrible. Throw in a couple of bucks. Just a couple of dollars. 20, 30, 40. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says, I blame Matt. Don't worry about it. I fire Johnny. I'll recoup all of it. I'm kidding. It's a joke. We're kidding. But really, let's not miss anymore, huh? What do you say? What do you say, evening show crowd? What do you say we cut the bullshit and we stop missing? Morning show's fucking killing it lately. Did I mention that? Did I mention that the morning show is killing it? All right, we took a big, stinking, shitty L. If you think I'm worthy after the show tonight, throw us a pity dono. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats. You got to admit, I'm taking it like a champ. Getting held down and fucked in the ass on these evening shows. You know what? I come back. I'll do better tomorrow night. Whew. It's getting bad enough where, who knows, maybe we'll end up doing a show on Thursday. I'll end up like Mersh, and I'll just be doing more and more shows because I can't knock it out. All right. I've overstayed my welcome. Loaded Wrench with $5 says last minute poor. Thank you very much. So 70, it's okay, $75 away with that $5 give from Loaded Wrench. Now, why is everyone in the chat shitting all over the puppet guy now? Why are we shitting on him? What did he do to anybody? He's just a guy who just glammed on to a bunch of people because he wanted to have people listen to a little podcast. He wanted to play puppeteer in his basement. You don't need to shit on him for it. All right, guys. We ended up $75 away. I tried to stall. I tried to do a little stalling so somebody would come up and kind of take the hint that I was looking to get inside of 50 so I could continue it up. Thank you, Bandit of 71, for the $1.99 over on YouTube. I have to thank him for his super chat, so I can't quite leave yet. You know, if they give me $1.99, I have to say, look at that. Numero uno Josh Denny fan with $1. Says, can't wait to see what Nick says in Granny's chat soon. Well, he has to do his Remember I Hate Aaron tour. Something must have happened recently that made him really mad at me. I can kind of guess what it was, but I don't want to jinx it. All right, guys, looks like we lost by $75. The super chats kept coming in, even the $1 Rumble rants and all that stuff. I got to read them. I got to thank those people for contributing to the program, but it looks like we lost. I mean, could someone throw something in on PayPal in the next, 30 seconds while I'm saying goodbye and help us get a W for the toe? Yes, of course they could. But it doesn't mean they will. Oh my God, wait a minute. Rust Belt with $5. We have to thank Rust Belt over on Rumble with his $5. So there we go. Thank you. I'm trying to get out of here, guys. I know we took an L. We lost. We didn't make the money we needed to do overtime. So darn it to heck shoot. Wait, I'm trying to say goodbye. Pants Maestro writes in the chat, this is desperate. You fucking think? You mean somebody got what I'm doing? I thought I was being subtle. Numero uno Josh Denny fan with $1 says the things we'll say in MKE's video game stream next month. Oh boy, those will sting you. I don't even know what MKE is. I would guess, is it Mr. Kill Everything from MLC? Or something. I think it's a joke about how desperate Nick is to talk shit about me, which I really appreciate it. Carlos Cameo says, keep holding the show up. Well, I mean, the only way that you could hold the show up is by sending in more money. Oh my God, Bandit of 71 with $9.99. Thank you very much.
And in my club, I will splash the pot whenever the fuck I please.
65.
Okay.
$65 away from tonight. Thank you very much. Oh, boy. Well, look, if we got inside of $50, we would have done a half hour of overtime. But we didn't get inside of $50, so I really do have to wrap up the show here. I do have to say goodbye. I thank everyone for their contributions. If those contributions still came in and we got under $50, then yes, I would be mandated to stay here. But I'm having more fun doing this than I should. Guys, I'm trying to leave and you keep throwing money at me. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says, spoiler alert, the locals gift is going to be individual courier pigeon notes to every member with insane Aaron anecdotes. That would be funny. He's actually brilliant for doing that locals gift now, because now he's only going to have to send out hundreds of them or dozens of them instead of thousands. That's a high brain. That's a 4D chess move right there. You got to admit it. All right. I'm hitting refresh on PayPal and Venmo. It doesn't look like anything's in there. We're out of super chats as well. So it looks like we're going to end the show at $65 away. Oh, wait a minute. Bandit of 71 with $19.99. We take 15 of that over from YouTube. So that puts us at $50. Now we're not inside of 50. So we can't it being inside of 50 would get us to 30, so we can't do that. But, hey, you guys are great. We got to give him his $20 drop, don't we?
We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Over on PayPal, Dave with $10. Thank you very much, Dave with the 10.
And in my club, I will splash the pot whenever the fuck I please.
$40 away from today's goal. MSO, what does that mean? MSO, hit me in the chat. What does that mean if I'm $40 away from the goal? Is there something like I have to do now because of that? I don't know. Help me out. I'm going to start wrapping up. I'm going to head out, guys. $40 away. That's not a bad miss. Not bad at all. You guys are a great audience. You're incredible. I love you all like you were my children. My very retarded children. Clopogram says it means I have to do overtime. What? No way. No, MSO, I can't play the pay that man his money drop yet because we haven't gotten down to 0. So we still have to beg you guys for money until 9:30 or until that $40 comes in and we can call it another win for the toe. But we do have to give you the overtime. Do you guys think I should go with those Vidam stories he sent in? Or do you think those are going to be dog shit? Hey, I saw something completely fucking heartbreaking yesterday. I saw that, did you see the Hulkster get booed out of the building? This really was, as a lifelong Hulkamaniac and someone with serious arrested development when it comes to my feelings towards Hulk Hogan, this really hurt. Now, they were in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles is a pretty blue place, pretty liberal place, Los Angeles. But these are pro wrestling fans. These aren't just like blue-haired, non-binary people from Skid Row. I mean, pro wrestling fans are not the most liberal people in the world. But Hulk Hogan came out because WWE has partnered with Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer in an advertising deal. Now, SP says, what the fuck? I'm going to go have chicken with SP after the show. Now you guys made me do overtime. And so now you put off the chicken. Sorry, honey. I got my ass kicked last night. And I didn't want to get my ass kicked 2 nights in a row. So I did it this way. But some people were saying that, well, Hulk Hogan got booed out of the building because it's a bunch of libs. I think Hulk Hogan got booed out of the building because, he's got the history of the racial comments. He did the Trump speech at the Republican National Convention. I don't think it was necessarily politics. And also, I think years of people following Hulk Hogan on the internet, the mystique of Hulkamania has kind of worn off and people are a little more jaded towards Hulk Hogan. It's just, I think over the years, it's just been too much Hulk. I mean, they could just embrace it and have him be Hollywood Hogan again and just have him come out and do the heel thing. Hard to do when you're promoting beer, but I think that the deal with Hulk Hogan, it can't be just political because The Undertaker came out and they cheered the fuck out of him. And The Undertaker was very clear about his endorsement of Donald Trump. So I think people are just kind of tired of the Hulkster. LOL with $1.99 says LA is a pretty red and orange place right now. Okay, well, you know what? That's not incorrect. They've got some pretty nasty wildfires out in California right now. Helgi says, deal with it, SP. The boys are talking. Well, now, wait a minute. Before you sit there and go cool your jets, SP, you guys are still I'm still getting the short end of the deal here. We're $40 short of tonight's goal. So I haven't won shit yet. So let's take it easy. If you want to throw $5-10 in with that, 4 of you throwing in $10 sure would go a long way to making me happy, if you will. Here's the clip. We're going to get pulled down for this. Our episode this morning got taken down for a little bit because I played that Landman clip with Jerry Jones in it. And so I had to throw that out so that the show could just get back onto YouTube. This is the Hulkster getting booed out of the building last night on Raw.
Greatest part of my life was being part of
this great WWE, guys. You know, I've had all kind of tag team partners over the years, but you, the fans, have been my greatest tag team partner because you guys have stuck with me through thick and thin, dudes.
Oh, no.
And in my
Hey, Aaron, learn how to hit the fucking eyeball thingy. There's nothing worse than fucking kissing the fan's ass and be like, you guys are the best, brother. And they're just going, you fucking suck, you old piece of shit, and your beer's garbage. I got to say this about real American beer. Again, maybe I'm just a Hulk Hogan mark, but I had some at Stoney's for the 10th anniversary party. I liked it. I thought it was just an easy, as the old folks say, it's an easy drinking beer. You know, it's an easy drinking beer. Someone says, Aaron, are you going to Nelson Brothers for dinner? I got news for you. Nelson Brothers is a fine establishment. And if any of you come up to Minnesota and come to a Steel Toe show or get in touch with me, anything Steel Toe, we'll go to Nelson Brothers. A fine restaurant and bar. Chad Buzamok with $1 says, hate to delay your and SP chicken longer, but you did promise 1 hour of OT if the goal is hit. No, I didn't. I misspoke. There's a big difference. And SP can blame Aaron for ruining their chicken dinner night. It's not really chicken dinner. It's just we're making a little chicken, and I'm just putting, well, I guess it is kind of chicken dinner. She's making a lovely chicken dish, and I told her that I would forestall my dinner tonight. That must be love, right? If a guy like me is saying, I won't eat. That's how you know you've got something special. I mean, a gal should consider herself lucky to have someone like me. Doompill says, beer tastes like what I imagine piss would taste like. Not much difference between any of them. I can't totally agree with you on that one. No, I don't think so, Tim. There's definitely beer that I can't fucking drink. Like, for one, I see someone drink Busch Light, I just get filled with murderous rage. I can't fucking take it. Who's drinking Busch Light thinking that piss water is good? That does upset me. Chad Buzamok says, you promised 1 hour. Let's get it, chats. Hey, we're $40 short. All right? Nobody's coming in to rescue us, I don't think. And I had to stretch the rules and cheat like a fucking dog just to get it under $50 tonight. So if you don't think in 10 minutes I'm begging my fucking dick off to get that last 40, you're out of your mind. Oh, now SP just wrote me this. She goes, it's made and done. Yours will be the keep warm setting. I'm eating now. All right, that's not even fair. I wouldn't have been there if I left at 9. Klopogram says, will your chicken have your special sauce? You mean garlic parmesan? Doompill writes, felted. I did. I just got felted by SP. Now, guys, the least you could do, since I'm already in the doghouse, is knock out tonight's goal with the $40. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan with $1. Says we need a Ray DeVito Steel Toe crossover. I swear to God, I would rather let every Nobody Likes Onions fan force feed me butter like over and over and over again than do a show with Ray DeVito. And now Klopogram's probably going, see, he said it. Oh, boy. No, thanks. I don't need to do a Ray DeVito show. I don't need to do a crossover show with anybody in that Dabbleverse. I like my spot on the outside looking in at these buffoons and watching them all just take the internet way too seriously. What was it called? Boomer Blood Sports? I think that's perfect. Oh, boy. Get that $40 in there. I'm going to go to another story, but we got to hit that 40 or otherwise I'm going to feel like a fucking idiot. I mean, I'm going to feel like a fucking idiot either way, but a bigger fucking idiot if we don't knock out that 40. Did you see this story? This New York to Fort Lauderdale flight where they found 2 people dead in the fucking wheel well of the plane? Like, my mind starts racing when I see something like that, and I immediately think mafia. Like there was some kind of a hit. I don't want this story to be like just like a couple of retarded mechanics got caught up in the landing gear like fucking Pinball Parker from Con Air. I want it to be like this is some kind of super I want this like back to the 1960s romanticizing of the mafia age and they stuffed two guys in a wheel well. In reality, it's probably just a couple of dipshits that got caught up in landing gear. Much like Pinball and Con Air.
Mom to send her prescription.
Oh, we got to get a 30-second ad in first, of course. CNN's hurting, guys, before they play their clips and shit. SP writes, I feel about Ray DeVito the way you feel about Bush Light. That's fair. Let's call Ray DeVito the Bush Light of podcasts. I think that's fair. Because I feel about Ray DeVito the way I feel about Bush Light. I see people saying, ironically or otherwise, they listen to Ray DeVito. I go, I'm judging. I'm fucking judging right now. All right, let's go ahead and get this JetBlue story. I need to know more.
Examiner has taken the bodies and that the Broward Sheriff's Office here in Fort Lauderdale are the ones that are handling this investigation. As you noted, that JetBlue flight landed here at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport from New York City a little after 11 o'clock last night. Now, according to the airline, sometime after that, during a post-flight inspection of that aircraft, the two bodies were found in the wheel well of this aircraft. Now, the details surrounding just how the victims were able to access the aircraft out of New York City is still unclear at this hour.
Wait a minute. Now, I don't know a lot about air travel. I've flown on the fucking things before, but I don't know much about the science of it. If two people tried to sneak into like the cargo hold or the area where the wheels go, would they freeze to death on a flight? Could that be what happened? Could these two dipshits have tried to sneak themselves a free plane ride and they fucking got 35,000 feet in the air and they froze? Is that a possible thing or is that retarded? No, because then wouldn't your luggage be all fucked? I don't know. Or did they go in the cargo hold and they just got banged around and they died? Like, what the? How does this happen? How did two people just end up dead in the belly of a plane?
We're told that no one that was on this flight apparently knew what happened. The identities of these two victims have not been released. And this discovery comes just 2 weeks after a body was found on a United Airlines flight from Chicago to Maui. Now,
what the fuck? Is there any way we can blame this on Pete Buttigieg? Because it seems like a lot of weird plane shit's been happening since he took over the Department of Transportation. Planes almost clipping each other on the runway. People showing up dead on United Airlines flights, JetBlue flights where you got two people fucking caught dead in the wheel. What the hell is going on with air travel?
The details surrounding that incident is still being investigated. Again, John, this morning, the Broward Medical Examiner has taken these two bodies. They are in the process of trying to identify them. The FAA is also investigating the incident. And of course, JetBlue is still trying to sort out the details, just how these two victims were able to access the wheel well of this aircraft.
Something fucky's going on here. You know what really frustrates me, though, is that when they come on and report this shit, and then they go, all right, we got to tell you all about this. And you're like, oh, what is it? And they're like, we have no fucking idea. What do you mean? I thought you guys were going to tell us what happened. Oh, yeah, we totally are. So what happened? No fucking clue. Hey, got a big news story for you. We got two people dead in the wheel well of a plane. Really? How did it happen? Well, ask me. What do I look like? The fucking news? Aren't you a reporter? Yeah, sure am. Did you find out anything about the story you've been assigned to? Yeah, two people dead. Really? Yeah. Wheel of the plane. Wow, that never happens, does it? No, it's extremely rare, remarkable, and almost never happens. Oh, really? What happened? I don't know. Thanks, guys. Back to you in the studio. CJ with $2 says it can be negative 70 at 35,000 feet. Ugh. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, Ray rules. This is a classic bad toe take. I do my best. Look, you can't keep everybody happy all the time, you know? Sometimes you're going to disappoint. $40 away from tonight's goal. I cheated so fucking hard to get that number down to 40 after we got beat last night that, I don't know. I'm probably going to rattle the cans a little early. I've totally abandoned dignity. Like after we lost last night. I would have totally let us lose by 60, 70 bucks tonight if we hadn't taken the L last night. But now I'm like bound and determined to get that fucking 40 bucks in. Somebody. I mean, this isn't even a show quality thing anymore. This is just me complaining about it until somebody takes enough pity to knock out a quarter of it, a half of it, or the whole thing. We'll get you on the fucking board. What do you say? Streamlabs pen pal. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, etc. Oh, there's a CNN reporter named Claire Duffy who's not happy about the changes they made at Facebook this week. Look, she's pissed. Calling women household objects is now permitted on Facebook after Meta updated its guidelines. Boy, I tell you what, Zuckerberg is getting pretty fucking based, isn't he? Boy, she is not happy about this. Users are now allowed to, for example, refer to women as household objects or property. So I guess, oh, and God, with boomers, the fucking dishwasher jokes are going to be out of control. Or transgender or non-binary people are allowed to be referred to as it. I tell you what, you know what this sounds like to me? This sounds like Zuckerberg knows that his audience on Facebook is all boomers and they want to talk this way. So he's got to appeal to them. Boomers don't understand 72 genders. They understand it and dishwasher. That's about it. They don't want to learn anymore. They're retired. According to a section of the policy prohibiting such speech that was crossed out, a new section of the policy notes Meta will allow allegations of mental illness or abnormality when based on gender or sexual orientation, given political and religious discourse about transgenderism and homosexuality. Previously, such comments would have been subject to removal under the policy. The changes to Meta's hateful conduct policy were first reported by Wired. So it is very telling who's complaining about this, where they come from, and I don't know. It seems like Zuckerberg has really kind of bet on liberals will just shut the fuck up and keep their accounts, and conservatives will be really happy, and a lot of them might come back to Facebook. It sounds like that's what he's going for here. Numero uno Josh Denny fan with $1 says, what's the best dinner SP has made? Oh, God. This chicken thing she makes is pretty good. I don't know. You know what? I'm trying to say this. I mean it as it's not meant as an insult. I'm the one who likes cooking. She can make some good stuff, but I'm really kind of the cook guy of the two of us. I don't know. She does great. When she makes stuff, it's very good. But I don't know. I'm kind of a mo. I like making shit. All right, guys, we got 40 bucks to go. Let's see if we can get, oh no, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over on Rumble. We got 35 left to go. Let's knock out 35 bucks and call it a win for the toe. We got 4 minutes left. We did the overtime on credit. I even cheated my fucking balls off to do it. Take pity on the toe and help us get one win for the evening shows so far. Carlos Cameo says we need a cooking segment with Aaron, hopefully without cum as the secret ingredient. Numero uno Josh Denny fan with $1 says, try making this, you hack.
This lemon pasta will take you to Sicily or the Amalfi Coast. You pick. This
Lemon
is a beautiful
pasta.
Mediterranean dish. Amazing.
I would, but this guinea's bothering me. Thank you very much. 35 bucks away. 3.5 minutes left to go in overtime. Guys, if you love me, you know what? If I've helped your night go by quick, help us out with that last 35. And let's call it another win for the toe. What do you say? Not even going to go high energy on you. let's just wrap. You and me. What's it worth? $35 away. 3 minutes left to go. Let's be adults about this. We can get a W. We can win. Sam Show says you're making me want to defecate all over your floor. It's $35. Come on. Find that shit in the couch cushions, right? Go ahead. Throw it in. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo. One of you has to find me a charity case enough to throw in a couple. There's CJ with $2 says thoughts on PFL style MMA, Professional Fighting League. Is that like the bare knuckle shit? I don't know. If people want to watch it, they'll watch it. I don't go out of my way to check it out, but I don't know. I'm not offended by it. I don't think it should be banned or anything like that. 2 minutes to go. $35 away. MSO says I can do Kiki bucks. I would have taken them like 8 months ago. The problem is there's a lot of inflation with those Kiki bucks. She throws them around way too much, and it devalues the currency. So I'm sorry, I can't accept Kiki bucks. I can accept $35 or 10 or 20. That would be great. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Guys, we got a minute and a half. Can we get a win? Can we get a W? That would be great. People are writing in telling me that those people in the wheel well probably died from the cold. Numero uno Josh Denny fan with $1 says, send money, you fucking retards. What, you ain't got $35 between the lot of you? Go fuck yourselves then. This is Toe Country. Thank you. At least you're making it fun. All right, we got a minute left. Got about $35 left to go. Got a minute left. I'm going to hit refresh on that PayPal, and someone's going to take pity on this program. I'm telling you right now, we got to get a win. We got to get a W on these evening shows. I'm going to give the morning show your fucking overtime. That's all there is to it. That's all there is. I gave you guys the overtime, and you made me $35 short. I thought we were friends. I really did. I got to go. I'm going to go see someone who actually loves me. Bandit of 71 with $35. Call it a win for the Toe at the buzzer. And Bandit is now at $55 total. I think that might get him on the board tomorrow morning. Oh, no, he's $1 short of Gray Duckling. Fuck. Thank you very much, Bandit of 71. He took pity on the Toe, and he threw in the 35 we needed. Ladies and gentlemen.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
I'm not proud of this win. I'm not proud of it at all, but I'll take it. Thank you, guys. Rusty Grammer says Bandit is also an OG. Thank you, OGs, for carrying us tonight. LOL with 199 says, Nick took out the loan for those sweet Kiki bucks. Oh, what a terrible investment. Thank you guys so much for the win tonight. I appreciate it. I hope you had fun. I had fun with you guys. I hope you had fun too. We're going to be back tomorrow. Johnny's going to be back. I hope you're all saving your money to throw it at Johnny tomorrow. Take it easy and have a great rest of your night.